Ramen bar. I like you crunch, I like you soft. I like it when you freshly served for me. For me. Yummy, 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 delicious. I wanna put you in my tummy, my precious. Yummy, 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 delicious. Tasting you is so delicious. Yummy, 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 delicious.
Really like.
I wanna put you in my tummy, my precious. Yummy, 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 delicious. Tasting you is epic delicious.
Count up the blood and sweat and tears I sacrificed for this. Cause all of the years I nearly almost lost my life for this. I'm better with pressure, the weight on my chest ain't nothing to stress. A test of the best, I'm counting my blessings while giving them hell. Let's wait to see just who prevails. I gotta go get mine. I think it's about that time. I think it's about that time. I gotta go get mine. I think it's about that time. I think it's about that time. Locked in, turn me up. Only thing we're focused on now is bringing us home to dub. I'm locked in, turn me up. Only thing we're focused on now is bringing us home to dub. They want it. Let's find out. Yeah. Look at the grind, this type of hustle is hard to find. Look at the time, all of my winning is stacking the passion of living the prime. I do not mind it, giving them L's, right on their tail. The question is if you gon' pass or fail. I need a ring that blings and shines, full of them diamonds, leaving you blinded. I gotta go get mine. I think it's about that time, I think it's about that time. I gotta go get mine. I think it's about that time. I think it's about that time. Locked in, turn me up. Only thing we're focused on now is bringing us home to dub. I'm locked in, turn me up. Only thing we're focused on now is bringing us home to dub. I'm locked in, turn me up. Only thing we're focused on now is bringing us home to dub. I'm locked in, turn me up. Only thing we're focused on now is bringing us home to dub.
guess I don't know both, but I'm sure enough to fake it. Sure enough to fake it. Sure enough to fake it. Sure enough, sure enough, sure enough to fake it. Sure enough, sure enough, sure enough to fake it. Sure enough, sure enough, sure enough to fake it. Sure enough, sure
Đợi em xíu.
Ê này, đi đâu đấy?
Hả?
Game bắt đầu rồi kìa.
Chuột nổ luôn kìa.
Ừ, bây giờ chủ nói tức sát thương.
Em vừa làm gì rồi?
Nhiệm vụ xong rồi kìa, lấy quà đi. Em ở đó làm gì? Đi về đi.
Đi tìm Akasan đi.
Ataka bị xóa rồi, đọc bản cập nhật đi chứ.
À, đánh thường mà đâu ghê.
Đồ mới mà. Thôi không chơi nữa, đọc bản cập nhật đi rồi tính tiếp.
やっとラップが緑になったって。
初めてこんな長いパッチノート見たなって思って。
我觉得最大改正是任务吧，因为这样前面就换线不了了，只能先去做任务。
すごく ADC は前より強いロールになったと思うんで楽しい。
确实上路有点少，他团战后面有点游龙，现在节奏跟之前完全不一样。
クエストの影響でスタップが起きないっていうので、こう連戦がより頻繁に戦闘が起きて主導権を得るためにこう戦うことが増えていくと思うので。
Phiên bản này thì sẽ cho khán giả coi được rất nhiều kiểu giao tranh này kia vui hơn mấy mùa trước.
我感觉就是钱会来得很快吧，因为塔皮每个塔都有塔皮，
塔钱也会让游戏进程变快，大家装备会成型的比较快。
Theo mình nghĩ thì với cơ chế trụ khi mà đẩy lính vào nó sẽ có nhiều bông hoa mặc quả trụ thì khi tụi mình sẽ lấy trụ dễ dàng hơn, tại vì khi đó thì tụi mình gây sát thương lên trụ sẽ tăng rất là nhiều sát thương.
然后2打2的话，我觉得之前太影响游戏了吧，因为每次到20分钟基本上都会在那里挂机。
20分からめっちゃ戦うんだけど、今20分に上がるパロンが今めっちゃ硬いから。
簡単になんかタッチできない。
以中路来说肯定是科技强啊，因为阿卡丽这样很快能突发电信。
新しい一兵みたいなやつありますよ。
Tại vì mình đã đánh rất nhiều tướng lên trang bị đó, mình cảm thấy trang bị đó khá là lỗi.
ADC なんでやっぱりストームレーザーなんかすごく強いアイテムが戻ってきたので、なんかやっててすごく楽しいなっていう。
Và mình cảm thấy khá là thú vị khi mà chơi ở phiên bản này.
Read the patch notes.
Go read the patch notes. Please read the patch notes before you play.
大家好，我是 p a p e n i 我今天要教古里新年快乐，恭喜发财，红包拿来。
Oh, again.
恭喜发财。
恭喜发财。
哦 ，good， 红包拿来。
红包拿来。
哎 ，good。
恭喜发大，红包啊。again，
恭喜发财。
恭喜发财，
红包拿来，
红包拿来。恭喜发财，红包拿来。
You can say chúc mừng năm mới, chúc mừng
năm mới.
năm mới,
Yes. Vạn sự như ý.
vạn sự như
Như ý.
như ý,
Yeah. Như ý. Ý. Vạn sự như ý.
vạn sự như ý,
Yeah.
chúc mừng năm mới, vạn sự như ý.
Yes. Good.
It's easy. Only 2 words. Buone, feste.
Feste.
Yeah. Now you put it together and you say it.
ボネフェステ。
翔さん、明けましておめでとう。明けましておめでとう。日语也行啊，我也会啊。Happy New Year's in Korean. You can say 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Yeah, that's perfect. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Yeah. In Việt Nam say chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Yeah. chúc mừng năm mới. Yeah. 恭喜发财。恭喜发财。
恭喜发财。
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 Good. Yeah. 恭喜发财。
恭喜发财。An khang thịnh vượng.
An khang thịnh vượng.
An khang thịnh vượng.
An khang thịnh vượng.
An khang thịnh vượng.
Okay, thịnh vượng. One more. 1, 2, 3. Very good too. 现在有在录啊？
有啊。
那你可以关掉吗？我要讲敏感话题啊。
Hiện tại là LCP bên ở thời điểm hiện tại thì đã thay đổi cũng như là củng cố rất là nhiều thành viên khác nhau đến từ rất là nhiều chỗ khác nhau nên là rất là khó đánh giá mọi người và người lớn nhất thì có lẽ là CFO. Hiện tại thì chưa thi đấu cũng như là chưa có làm quen gọi là bắt lửa nhiều nên là cũng rất là khó đánh giá.
Với việc qua game và mình không làm đội trưởng nữa thì mình cảm thấy khá là thoải mái và nhẹ nhõm. Như cá nhân mình phải giữ những thứ mình đã làm trước kia khi mà làm đội trưởng để mình còn được làm đội trưởng cho chính bản thân của mình. Mình thấy là anh huấn luyện viên mới rất là vui tính và vui vẻ với lại nhiệt huyết trong công việc. Ban đầu thì tụi mình rất là khó khăn trong khoản giao tiếp nhưng mà dần dần thì tụi mình cũng đã tìm hướng giải quyết để nói chuyện với nhau nhiều hơn. Nên là bây giờ cho tới hiện tại thì bọn mình đã rất dễ dàng để làm việc với nhau. Mình muốn nói với Taki với mình rằng là đã rời đi thì hãy chìm trong thất bại, người ở lại thì luôn có chiến thắng.
まあ、新しく加入したケインだったりだとか、シトラスたくさんコールする選手なので、そういったコールが、それぞれで噛み合っていけばどんどん強いチームになっていくんじゃないかなと思います。
そうだな、なんか久しぶりに会ったアリアはすごい冷たい選手のように見えたんですけど、全然そんなことはなくて、僕が体調悪い時にはエビ体調大丈夫？心配してくれたり変わってませんでした。
他的打法应该比较偏向支援队友的类型，而我是在线上自己做压制。会有啊，想起很多的回忆啊，就也希望他可以跟我一起进步吧。只是说非常期待啊，希望你真的会复出。
没有到那么好，感觉我们的默契还需要配合一阵子，然后沟通的方面也要加强。
我觉得我们算是一个新的队伍嘛，因为其实我们像是 Shadow、汹涌跟厄尔骑士加入，那我们目前也是在处理一些沟通上的问题，然后也很努力在教汹涌一些简单的中文。大家可以期待一下我们的沟通就比去年更烂了。
队伍状况的话，目前可能还处于比较不安定的状况。对粉丝说的话就谢谢你们支持，然后我们会努力的。CFO，因为我们这一队都是跟 CFO 有一些渊源嘛，就是可能是淘汰掉了或者就是不被选上的这样。我是不被选上的。
Welcome back to the LCP. It is week 5 and we are into our third day of playoffs, Pike. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, mate. It's been so long. Like, I was literally like, got the announcement at the start of the whole split. I was like, yeah, Pike's going to be cast in LCP. And then I was like, wait, hold on. I got a holiday to go on. Whoops. But now we're back, and it's right towards the end. I'm so excited to be back and bringing some live action to the LCP. We got some awesome things coming your way. But well, Logan, honestly, and happy Valentine's Day to you. Big hearts, buddy.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It must have been that honeymoon you were on there, Pike. But as you've alluded to, we have an excellent best of 5 series here tonight between Team Secret Wales of the VCS and SHG SoftBank Hawks Gaming of the LJL. And expectations are high here.
Look, these two teams are fantastic. Look, there is your golden thrones right there. Team Secret Wales. These guys have been sitting at the top, not even at a bit of a struggle. They have been comfortably looking after this position, and they are going to be the absolute team to watch tonight. But tell me a little bit more, Logan.
You are so right. They are at the tippity top of the LCP here. They come in as our #1 seed. They only lost 1 series against our 2nd seed, Relove DCG. So this is a fierce team. They are also the most player of the match winningest team, having 6 so far in this LCP split. And Pike, if I can give a word of warning to anyone watching this, don't let Pun get that volley bear. But enough about them. SoftBank Hawks is here in front of us, Pike. I'm very keen for these guys tonight.
Logan, the big thing here is we were all almost taken aback by how this team actually got here. They had a pretty good regular split, but then taking last night's Series 2 to just be like, oh, we're just going to take away GAM. Like, let's just get these guys out of here. And like, whoa, okay, contenders. So I've got a lot of hope in this team. Yes, they're up against like our #1 seed, but they've proven beyond the odds that anything's possible. And if there's nothing I love more than an underdog story, this is dodgeball all over again, and I'm keen to see this team get some moves happening tonight.
You're so right. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. And that is exactly what SHG has brought to the table, taking down GARM tidily in that 3-0 sweep. And if that's the best that SHG can bring to bear, Team Secret Wales need to respect it. And in this matchup, we have the mid laner of Dire versus the mid laner of Aria here. And look at these stats. They both have 8 unique champions, which is quite the pool of mid laners, but that pool will be stretched here tonight in our best of 5, Pike.
I think a thing you can't actually ignore, and something that is so underappreciated in all games, no matter what elo you are, is look at that CS per minute. 9.4 and 9.5. Teetering on that 10 CS per minute is perfection. So the fact that both these mid laners have been making not only impact along that, but they've been able to hold it steady throughout the entire split. So especially for SHG, Aria here, who is probably one of our best mid laners in my opinion. I think this is just a testament to how good these guys are and why we wanted to highlight them, that they've got the very similar champion pool. Can we get them working together? But now let's look at even more. First blood, oh my lord, for Dire, 18.8. That just makes my heart sing.
Dire is definitely an aggressive and strong mid laner in his own right, having that very similar gold percentage as well. But with that gold difference at 10, I would expect Aria to actually eke out a small lead coming into that 10-minute mark. But Dire having 10 solo bolos compared to his counterpart Aria, that's a statement, Pike.
That just tells me aggression, aggression, aggression. Dire will not hold up. He will keep running at you no matter what he's on. We've seen the likes of the Rise, the Akali. I want to see them do what is almost what we expect them to do, is to actually put that pressure on and then start moving around the map. That is what mid laners are really trying to get done. That's why Rise is so popular, is it has that realm walk. You can move and fluctuate. That's where that kill pressure comes from. We'll have to see if these guys are going to do it, but they've both got awesome teams looking to support them. What is your prediction for tonight, though, Logan? I think that's a big question we could talk about.
My prediction is going to be a 3-2, and they're going to lean hard for Team Secret Wales, and they're going to lean hard into this global meta. I'm expecting a Galio. I'm expecting Rises, those Pantheons, and as you said, Talia's as well with a Weaver's Wall. But we can talk more about this after the Riot Fist Bump coming up right now. What a spectacular view we are met by here, Pike, as we are getting ready for tonight's best of 5 series between Team Secret Wales and SoftBank Hawks Gaming. But as we were talking about before we threw to that fist bump, do we have any predictions? And Pike, my money is on the 3-2 Team Secret Wales. I have the confidence in SoftBank Hawks Gaming being able to take some of these games. But Pike, what do you think? What are your predictions here tonight, mate?
It's one of those classics, one of those fun stories that we always hope and sort of dream for a little bit, but I think Secret Wales have got this in the bag. I think it's going to be a 3-1. I think SHG might have a couple things up their sleeves. That was the best awkward fist bump that I've ever seen. You dream of those, pun. You're an absolute diamond. But no, I think it's going to be looking towards a 3-1. I think Secret Wales are just going to show a lot of dominance. I think their champion pools are just a little bit deeper. They have a little bit more complexity around what they can play, and their knowledge throughout this whole split has shown that they are very flexible with things. They are aggressive, but they're flexible. They can move, they can adjust, they can see what other teams have been trying to play at, and then they're flipping it on their head. So I'm excited to see Secret Wales take this one. Nice, that's the good fist buzz we want. That's our mid laners walking out. Dyer, Arya, they are feeling good tonight. You can just tell by that posture.
You are so correct, as the bot laners Marble and Eddie, the superstars. If we see Marble on Aphelios, we can expect a spectacular performance. But counter to that, Eddie, if he's able to secure himself Yunara or Kai'Sa, it's almost a sure thing. He has a 100% win rate on both of those champs. But helping them get these 100% win rates is BA for Team Secret Wales and Vista for SoftBank Hawks Gaming. Now, Vista is the most player of the matched player from SHG. He has 3, but helping them get there is Corgi and Warhorse. These are the brilliant... Valentine's Day!
Oh, my heart, that's out of nowhere! That's how you get in their heads right there. Secret Wales are like, nah, we'll bring him a rose. He'll want to throw a game at this point. That is beautiful, though. You'd only see that in LCP, Logan.
That's exactly right. No other region brings the friendship to the Rift like the LCP does, as well as this tough level of competition that we've seen. And here in this LCP Split 1 Pike, we have seen that ceiling go up. There is more serious competition here developing through our mid and upper ranges, which is just fantastic. It is so good for the sport and so good for our region here, Pike. But I will be interested to see what these teams want to play, as Team Secret Wales, they lock in second pick and red side here, Pike.
Look, they want that counter pick. I actually really appreciate that. They're going to the old true blue. So old true blue in regards to what it actually is to draft in a normal game. Thank you for making it easy for my job. No, I love this. I think second pick, getting that counter pick later in the game is going to be so helpful moving forward. But red side as well, that's a bit of an interesting one. I think Team Secret Wales is maybe one or if the only team that I've seen be really successful on red side and actually being able to control a little bit more. Again, you have the easier prior to those dragons, which we know Team Secret Wales loves this control over objectives. So I think this is a really smart call from them. Coaching staff have done their research, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do. We'll have to see what Warhorse and Lucille have actually got planned, because they've got some picks, they've got some moves. Let's see them get it done.
And if they can pick those movers, they'll be able to slide, warp, and just heroes entrance across this rift. And this is what we were talking about a little earlier, Pike, is this meta that has emerged in this split one is literally a global meta. It's about being able to pull that trigger first. It's about bringing those numbers to bear before your opponents get that chance and winning these unfair fights in those lanes. And we've seen it before. SHG, they kind of like to play that sort of slower early game, that death by 1,000 cuts. But Team Secret Wales, they are aggressive. They will initiate, they will dive. So it's up to SHG to be able to sort of fend off the aspirations of Team Secret Wales here in this best of 5 tonight, because this is playoffs, and if you lose here tonight, it is a double elim, so you will go down to the lower bracket, but that's not ideal. No one wants that for their sort of early playoffs run.
It's a bit of a catch-22 as well. If you do go to that lower bracket, you have to claw your way back even more games. Yes, it's actually kind of nice to have those games under your belt and get that little bit more of extra experience moving in. Helps you understand metas, understand champions. It's almost extra scrims if you are the winning team in the lower bracket. But for the winner bracket, they're having a great time. They get to watch their competition doing a little bit more. But I want to come back to that point that you were talking about how does SHG sort of slow the pace of the game down against a team, which is Secret Wales, that love to hyper accelerate. This is a team that is a bullet. They will just come out of the gate and they will just run at you, no matter the draft, no matter the comp. They love to control the state of the game. How does SHG slow them down enough that they can get to these mid-late game team fights and come back a little bit more? I really struggle to see it, Logan. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is the X factor is in Evie. Evie is that top laner that he may not win his lane matchup, his 1v1, and let's be real, Pun is a menace in that top lane. But Evie, it feels like he's such a good team fighter. He's able to get into those fantastic positions on that Cassante, on that Scion, and just tank for days, block the damage, and slow that advance down that Team Secret Wales are inevitably going to want to bring as we start to see the draft coming through. And Pike, this is my favorite part of the game. I love this.
Really? This is the most boring for me. No, I'm kidding. No, I love draft too. I think draft is where you always learn the state of what's going to happen. It gives you so much knowledge and identity of what these teams want to try to achieve. You got the Akali, you got the Orianna, staple bans straight out of the gate. I think Orianna is quite a bit of a free win if it gets through, but we're in Fearless. We might see it later on. But there's that volley bear. You talked about Pun on the bear, and it's gone.
I really do like that ban. Pun on the volley has proven absolutely indomitable. He has a 100% win rate on that. And if you've watched this split, if you've watched this season, you know why. Sometimes he was very nearly 1v5ing entire teams. He was tanking more than most traditional tanks, and he was able to bully his top lane opponents. That passive, just getting those waves shoved in, he was proxying. He always had priority. Team Secret Wales, they never had to allocate any extra resources to their top side, whereas their opponents had to. So it just brought them that cross-map advantage there, Pike. But we do see J4 banned away here too. They do not want to see his toe on this extremely volatile and explosive champ.
I think the hard thing is just like, how do you really lock out his toe? His pool is very vast. There's the Rise being taken out. Now we're going to start seeing the first time almost ever the normal draft phase. I am so excited for it. Blue side, we'll see what they want to prioritize, right? There are some really strong champions. They might look for the Malphite. You could look for the Varus. You could look for sort of even Sivir if you wanted to look at the bot lane, but I doubt we'll be seeing the bot lane picked up early, but Malphite's definitely screaming towards me. You want something strong that can start these fights. But again, it questions down. SHG, are they trying to stall or are they trying to rush? That's the big question. But looks like we might not be seeing it as the Pantheon being locked in.
And this is leaning toward that global pressure, that global priority that Pantheon is able to bring down with that ultimate there, Pike. And it's going to be interesting to see what they pair with it. Obviously, Orianna is off the map, so you cannot put that sort of shockwave onto Pantheon, but you need something that's going to dive in with Pantheon. Yes, it's a great initiator, and that first couple of seconds with the Aegis, he doesn't really get traded back into overly heavy, but we're going to need to see maybe Marble pick up something like that. Kai'Sa Kaisa to dive with him, as we do see Xin Zhao locked in for his toe. And frankly, his toe has been just putting in such a strong performance on this Xin Zhao Pike.
Giving him the priority pick there makes a lot of sense, but backing it up with Eddie on the Yanara makes so much sense. It's a strong pick. The hyper carry, 2-3 items in, Eddie's going to be walking over this team. Yes, you have a Pantheon. Bit of a flex pick, that Pantheon too. You can put it in the top, you can put it jungle, you can put it mid, but it's definitely going to be going into that jungle performance. As we see the Aurora being locked down, this is a very strong team fight coming out of SHG already. It now comes down to who picks up a Malphite, because we saw the hover over the other side, so they might just be looking to ban it out in the second phase. I'd like to see a bit of a mid-late game AD carry being locked down. I think a Kaisa, like you said, could be quite good. Marble, very proficient on this, is going to be a big call.
And one thing that I would like to call out on that Yunara, Eddie does have that 100% win rate in 5 games on Yunara. So if SHG are able to take the task and take it to Team Secret Wales, it would be the first Yunara loss that is piloted by Eddie. But that's for another 35 minutes away, Pike, as we see that Cassante locked in for Evie on the top side. I do like this pick for Evie. He is so capable. He just knows how to pilot this. His all outs get on top of the right targets at the right times. So if I was Team Secret Wales, I would be respecting this topside pick.
Look, topside for the Galio, that's a mid lane Galio right there. That is a bit. Oh, do you mean Evie on the Cassante? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, you got it backwards for a second. I was like, hey, you got me there. No, but I instantly looked at that Galio. Dire on this Galio is going to be so big. You talked about what's the follow-up for his toe on this Xin Zhao. It's Galio. That is the big one. You see how many circles there are. The second Aria on this Aurora makes any kind of play with the Between Two Worlds. It's going to be a big Galio Heroes entrance come and smack it down right into the middle of it. So it's just like, what can you do when Galio stops a lot of AP damage in this game? Final bans coming through. There's the Varus, there's the Aphelios. We've already talked about it. We don't even discuss it anymore. Marble is going to be losing a little bit of that strong champion pool moving forward, so it makes sense that Warhorse wanted to cancel that out. But Ambessa on the other side screams they don't want any big damage or backline engage. And there's the Nautilus.
That Nautilus bringing a significant amount of CC, the dredge line, the depth charges, being able to sort of disrupt plays so effectively, especially if you are able to hit multiple champions with that depth charge. I do like that ban. It does allow SHG to kind of jump on top of whatever it is Team Secret Wales has. And right now it is at Yunara, but Tom Kench, I was going to say, I like the idea of Tom Kench. We haven't seen him, but the ability to be able to bring so much protection for Yunara. But Pike, I have to say it, mate, crikey, the Crocodile's been picked. That is Renekton, picked up for pun in that top side for Team Secret Wales.
And if this doesn't just scream, I'm going to beat you, Pun is just going to walk over this Cassante early. That's what Spice telling me. The later this game goes, it's going to be a lot harder for this Croc to do a lot of damage to Cassante. So Evie's going to be waiting very much for the late game. There's the Kaisa that I was talking about that they're going to lock on down, make some with the Nico to boot. That is some strong engage and follow-up coming out of SSG. They've got a really nice draft going on, but a little bit of Lulu on there is just going to empower this Yanara. Eddie is probably going to have a bit of a field day as long as he has the space.
And Renekton and Galio and Xin Zhao are built to give that space. A hero's entrance to do the knock-up, to bring the shields. A Xin Zhao Crescent Guard to knock away any of this engage that SHG are going to bring to bear. And my goodness, a Renekton knows how to get in your face and pull you out of the way with straight up damage and sustain. I do like the composition that Team Secret Wales has brought to bear, but counter to that, I like SHGs. They've got big circles, Pike.
I love a good big circle, not gonna lie. I love a Pop Blossom. I love a Killer Instinct from a Kaisa. I love that there's follow-up, that they can get into this backline too. My only problem is they're versing Secret Wales. That's the only thing I'm struggling with. Secret Wales, they've shown such competency all split long. They will run the tempo. They can cancel out this Cassante. They can deny him by 5, maybe even 10 minutes. Where is the front line? How do they stay relevant in an all-out 5v5 team fight with a Galio and a Xin and a Renekton sitting on top of them? I really struggle to see it. I want to see a little bit more from this Nico, who's going to be able to get in there and start something, but at the same time, if he gets cancelled out early, what can you do? Like, there's a polymorph from this Lulu that's just going to stop you. I'm struggling to see how Seahawks are really going to make a huge impact other than just sending everything to the wall and hoping it sticks.
Well, you won't have to struggle much longer as we see our two teams ready for game one of tonight's best of 5 series between SHG and Team Secret Wales here in week 5, day 3 of the playoffs, Pike, as we get a little bit of early vision. Yes, absolutely.
It's my first night back. I'm chuffed. I've been dreaming about this day the last 10 plus years. Let's get this done. Oh, look at those stats. Woo, that's pretty rough to see, honestly. It's all going Secret Wales. I think they may have maybe the secret sauce, you might even say, about how to beat SHG, but we're still here. Oh, there's a lot of sauce there, if I'm being honest.
But SHG have overcome worse odds. They had not beaten GARM since Worlds 2024. It was something like 8 series in the LCP and I think 10 series internationally. So they overcame that challenge. They can overcome Team Secret Wales as well, Pike. I am a believer as these waves, they now crash a full 35 seconds earlier. They spawn at the 30-second mark now, Pike, not the 1 minute and 5.
I do love just a little bit of the extra speed you get at the start of the game. It means there's no crazy invades early on. There's no 5v5s down on the bot side to see if they get a pick. It's just, let's start laning. Let's just have fun with it.
You are so right as a little cheeky poke comes down on that mid side. But let's take a look at those junglers. They have started. We do see Van1 on his bot side pathing towards the top, I would presume here. And his toe is in his top side clearing down. But I really like that ward that Pun was able to get down early, deep in SHG territory on that red buff. That sets them up nicely to know where he is later in his clear, which is more relevant, more timely information, I would suggest, Pike.
It's not, like, honestly, any information is good information. The ward's already cancelled out, so they're not going to actually see him go. Van1's not going to be spotted on his camp spot. They'll know, they're already pinging and saying, look, we know he's here, so it makes a lot of sense that they're ready and rearing. So I think moving down towards the bot side, both these junglers just looking for a full clear, just wanting to have that early injection of gold because, again, like you said, objectives are going to be coming up just a little bit faster. Let's see if these teams want to get to them any sooner. But we're seeing a little bit of domination across the board already. We can already see we knew Galio was going to have a little bit of a rougher time into the Aurora early, but Galio is not about laning phase. Galio is about looking for those big team fights. Now, that's a powerful ward if ever I've seen it. Being able to spot out Histo, who is looking for that bot side scuttle crab.
You are so right. Seeing him get that blue as well as that scuttle crab. But I do want to talk about that Galio pick is something that obviously we mentioned in draft, but not talk about the play-making ability that Dire would be able to bring. That is definitely a pick for the team, not a pick for Dire. Dire is an effective and capable pilot, and I would be concerned. Pike.
I just talked about how Dire was playing for the team. He's just about to solo Ari. They have to hop over the wall. No HP. They're popping wards. They're just denying everything. This is the aggression that Secret Wales bring to these games. We saw aggression from a Galio at 3.5 minutes, Logan. What is going on?
That's just Dire for you. There was an interesting...
I might actually have to flash this. Ooh, Evie, I like the aggression there too. They're sending it back in draws.
Evie is never to be underestimated, in my opinion. I think some people think they can get away with bullying him, but he is creative. He has the hands to dodge what a lot of others couldn't. I suggest his pun. Fuck, he's left that one so close there, mate.
It was a close shave if ever I've seen it, and that makes me nervous sometimes. But now they might be looking for a little bit of a scuffle down bot side. But again, Eddie just farming this one up. Same with the Kaiser Marble, just being proactive. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount of action until we hit level 6 and first objectives on the board. We're looking at that early drag. It's only 30 seconds away, but I don't think we'll be going for it for another couple minutes.
We do have that action.
Heal comes out, flash from Eddie too. Got to be very careful. Marble running low, but the polymorph does say, Marble, time to back off.
Yeah, that polymorph from Lulu, so effective at disrupting engages. It is that alternate ability on the skill as Vista just interrupting those cheeky recalls to disrupt their timing, make sure that SHG are able to apply a little bit more pressure, eke out a bit more advantage. But before all this happened, we were talking about Dyer picking that Galio. That is a play for the team pick, and I really do like that. The moment SHG pull that trigger, they have that Pantheon ult and they global in, it will be met by that hero's entrance to disrupt everything, to buy Eddie that space and time.
And if Histo here can cancel out these backs and stop Marble from getting a reset, it is going to be huge for Eddie. It is going to be such a huge expression of tempo, of being able to control the wave. They have to reset here. They need to get back to lane, but if they can crash a tower, get a tower plate, it's these little micro injections of gold that Secret Whales is so good at getting, they're able to do a little bit more, because they could just walk up and start looking at the drag.
And this is exactly it. It's the tempo, it's the pace, and Team Secret Whales, they aggress earlier and more often. And SHG, that's not really their style, as Histo does get that crab and is looking at the dragon, but I think they think better of it. Van One is in the area right now. So we do see, though, Evie on that top side just getting some vision down because he had that priority on the top, is able to get the vision to help his team if the grubs are decided to move towards, but that's in another nearly 2 minutes. Right now, though, all the action is on that bot side, and Team Secret Whales, they do have a nice ward, but Pike in the middle.
Look, it's all sort of just like limit testing each other right now. I don't think anyone's in a huge amount of kill threat with the items that they've currently got. It's only a couple amp tomes, maybe a long sword. There's nothing too of note, I would say, right now that's going to be going on. And you know what? I kind of like it that way. We can talk more about the team. We can talk about what they want to achieve, where they're going to be heading, and who's going to start coming ahead. So at the same time, I'm loving the lead that Marble's now picking up. Even with a little bit of a slower back, in my opinion, they're able to do a little bit more. But Pun now just sort of saying, if you keep walking away from my lane, I'm going to take every tower plate available.
And Pun is just so good at that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just able to trade into Evie under his own tower. Absolutely. And that's the... Well, yeah, and that's the energy we see from him on that volley bear as well. He's so effective in these 1v1 matchups in the top lanes, getting that priority, bullying his opposition out of those lanes. Van One, though, definitely spotted out here. So much vision control coming out of Team Secret Whales on this bot side river. They will know if SHG decide to go up on this Drake, but SHG, they do have that bot side priority, and they're able to send members in first. So they have the vision control, they have the priority. It's going to be up to Team Secret Whales to walk into this with, dare I say, at least equal members, and it looks like they may not, Pike. SHG might secure this first Drake for themselves here.
Look, I think this is really good play by SHG. Like, they're playing Secret Whales' game of let's rush the tempo. Like, where if you guys are so good at running tempo, let's do the same. So nice to see that SHG is playing a slightly different game than we used to. We talked about how this team wants to be in a later, mid-late game team fight. That's great. I love that they're doing this. Is giving them just a little bit more objectives on the board, a little bit more control, giving a bit more space, just sort of scaling up a little bit more. Kaiser wants a couple items on the board anyway. I'm here for it. I think this is really good call from SHG. Void Grubs are up though. So we got to start thinking, is this where the next big fight's going to be? Or is it just going to be given over? Because you can already see Van One is up on the top side again, clearing house.
And we do see those levels as well. Everyone is at least level 6 now, so all of those ults are online. So if a big 5v5 decides to break out, it will be explosive. Histo in the mid side though.
But Ari is doing a really good job sidestepping everything, so not going to be able to do all that much. And yeah, like I said, SHG now saying Void Grubs are up. Let's just push the objective even further. This is not a... It's not a bad idea. This is great. I love to see that SHG is really controlling the state of the game. This is what we wanted to see from them.
And Arya did so well there. So Histo and Dyer obviously collapsed onto Arya to try and get the kill, or at least pressure Arya away, but were unable to connect any of those skill shots. So Arya was able to maintain that mid lane priority, which let Van One just take those grubs for free. So now SHG, they've got the first Drake, they've got the grubs, they've got the tempo here, critically, Pike. Even though Team Secret Whales, they have that sort of gold lead advantage in that top side, the other members in the mid and the bot are able to sort of level that out. And arguably, two of your people being ahead over one is so much better, especially when it's your damage dealers in that Aurora and Kai'Sa.
The big thing, though, is I would say Yanara is, in the hands of Eddie, probably a better champion than Marbles Kai'Sa. I'm not saying Marbles not good. I'm not saying Kai'Sa's not good. I'm just saying Yanara late game. They've clearly picked Yanara Lulu. That is a combo you cannot disregard. Yes, you're a little bit behind. It's only 200 gold, Logan. That's what I'm looking at. It is all about the later games. Once we get a couple items on board, if Yanara has the space and has the movement, it's going to be a very different game as now. There's the Dominus. We could be looking at first blood if Pun wants to keep going a little bit further, but it's just a bit of a stomping ground. Here's the Heroes entrance, though, coming from the mid. Nice little stop out. Pun is going to be able to stay alive for this one, but they do get out both alive. Evie, nicely played.
So well played there by Evie, hitting that unstoppable, preventing that taunt landing and keeping him in that fight. It was a really good response there from Dyer to commit that Hero's entrance, but he gave so much priority over to Arya as well, who was just left to free farm, get that experience, get that CS, and ultimately all they got out of Evie was his ult. So they committed a lot for it, including those TPs. I think SHG would be happy that that happened because Evie outplayed it and survived so effectively, so well. And they bought themselves that priority, right? We see it here. Absolutely. Arya is just able to bully Pun, Dyer trying to trade into Evie, and Evie just getting the better of him, Pike.
Look, this is the Kasante effect. It's a 5,000-year champion for a reason. It can, even in some early stages of the games, survive and outplay. It has the moves. It has the capabilities. Some might even say unkillable, but I'm still yet to be proven that. We'll have to see how Evie's going to be playing this out. Regardless, has been playing spectacularly. SHG are now up in gold. It's only 500, but that's still nothing to be worried about. This is Secret Wales. This is the team we all said was the team. And SHG is saying, we're here to contest.
They are putting up a strong, strong case, as I do always like to see our supports out there roaming, getting these deep vision wards down, and we're starting to see those sort of first items come through. So these ADs, these mids, they're going to start to hurt. Both of the ADs have actually picked up that Kraken Slayer. And Pike, these new role quests, they're starting to be completed here too. I really like these additions to this split.
I love that it's different for both teams as well. We got top and AD carry, SHG all completed up, and instead it's actually jungle and support for Secret Wales that have them locked in. So what does that tell me, Logan? Walk me through it.
I like it. So with these role quests, it's the experience gain, it's the actions that they take. So to me, that tells me it's a more proactive support and jungler from Team Secret Wales. They're doing more of what they're supposed to be doing than their counterparts on SHG. So their top laner and their bot laner, they're staying in their lanes longer. They're getting more experience. So when Pun went to that mid lane, he gave that advantage over to Evie because he was out of lane, not getting that experience, but Evie was. So it's those small advantages, those smalls. I'm playing my role just that little bit more effectively in these early stages of the game, and they earn themselves those rewards.
I want to start seeing Secret Wales starting to make some moves. His toe is now down here looking for this dragon. They could be looking for a big fight as Eddie, BI, ready to go. But they've just sort of said, look, we'll have to back it off. Like this is being strong-armed at its best degree. Histo just walked there and said, what do you mean you're taking this dragon? This is my dragon. How dare you even start it? But now he's just thanking him for the leash. There's the flash bot, Pop Blossom's even better than looking at this bot side. Looks like Eddie has to flash out. Wildcard's good. Here's the Grand Skyfall. Their tower diving first blood is heading over for Van 1, and that is the play we were hoping for. Pushing the aggression, Logan, and I'm here for it. SHG.
This is such a fantastic punish. As we saw around that Drake, SHG started it up. SHG brought the members of Team Secret Wales into them and decided, you know what? We've seen that there are enough of you here. As we go back to this bot side, this is the advantage they bought themselves. The Tangle Barb just clips and the Pop Blossom buys the time. Lulu ult unable to prevent that disengage. And Van One, with that proactivity that we've been talking about, these global ultimates, able to just turn these fights around on a dime, Pike. And all off the back, I would argue, of that Drake play. SHG started it. They let TSW come in. They saw how many members were there and were like, you know what? You can have the Drake. We'll win the fight. And that's exactly what they did.
And it just felt like Eddie may have just miscalculated what their plan was. Like, there was no ultimates used. They sort of conceded really hard. Like, there's some mind games and maybe a little bit of shenanigans in that one, because they were like, we're fine, we can just push up. But no, you got to remember, it's a Pantheon. Grand Skyfall's there. They can get to the lane very quickly, and with a Pop Blossom and a Kaiser's Killer Instinct, they're going to sit on top of you incredibly fast. So I could see what Eddie was thinking, and I think it was just a little bit too slow. But all role quests are now completed as well, Logan. We're starting to see more and more roams around the map. You basically stay in lane till that role is done, and then we start to look for more fights, because this game is accelerating so much faster. We're 15 minutes in. Rift Herald has already been started up. Might not be completed just yet, though, as Histo already hovering in the area.
For sure, Team Secret Whales know what's up. They are aggressing. They want to compete for these jungle objectives, but SHG, they're here as well, Pike. We did see the clones spotting a lot of vision, and it's up to SHG to pull the trigger, because Team Secret Whales, they're killing this Herald and quickly.
Flash, Hero's entrance is coming in. Now they're trying to survive a little bit longer. The polymorph is there. This is so close to dying. They get taken out. Eddie's the one to lock it down. Now they're looking at Van 1, but Marvel 2 is able to lock down Eddie. It's a lot of damage. The knockback's even better. Can they hold out a little bit more? Dyer's too low. Histo wants to get a little bit more done. They're able to get a couple of knockups here, there, and everywhere. But no, Van 1 knocks them down with the spear. They need to survive a little bit longer. He's standing still. He TP'd out instead. A play worthy of the ages. Histo now holding on, but might not survive. And a huge play for SHG. Oh my lord, Secret Whales. What is going on?
SHG are here to play. They will not be bullied by our #1 seed in the LCP. This is fantastic team play coming out of them. And Pike, Evie, I called it out pre-draft, and I'll say it again. He is a tank for the team. He frontlined, he zoned 4 members of Team Secret Whales away in this fight, and we get to see it again. So Histo is on the Rift Herald, but does this fantastic engage. The wind becomes lightning with the flash, but unfortunately the poly too slow to prevent that Pop Blossom, and it buys the time SHG needs to call in reinforcements, and Evie onto 4. He just nails that entrance. I dare say that is the hero's entrance of tonight's game. Dyer forced to TP out as Evie bullies the world. Arya and Van 1 just able to get their damage down. And Pike, what was ultimately the Team Secret Whales engagement, turns into a disaster for them.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was like you could see the proactivity. It was the flash forward. Histo's like, we got to take this fight. There's another Grand Skyfall coming on down. The whole team is here in droves. Van 1, 4-0-1 with that kill. You are scared of this Pantheon. He is an absolute titan.
As we know that he can be. This is what you want to see out of your Pantheon. This is what you want to see with the Grand Skyfall. You don't want to see defensive ultimates to zone or escape. You want to see these aggressive ultimates to make these plays, to get on top of those key players like Eddie, who's now 1 and 2. But yeah, as you said, Van 1, 4-0. Evie on the top side getting poked down, but that is a Cassante, and he does have all out here, Pike.
Yeah, he's got all out. He could just take him for a ride. He could just take him for it even more, but still trying to get the stun. But there's 3 other members ready to go. Evie, you just said he had it done, and he's getting shredded out. And a great shutdown heading over for Eddie, which is exactly who you want it on. Big gold injection.
Absolutely. If you want gold anywhere right now, it's going to be on now 2-item AD. But it was the world against Evie. TSW gave over so much priority that SHG were just able to take that third Drake for absolutely nothing. No competition in the area. So a great cross-map play coming out of SHG. Evie died, but they got that Drake. They got mid lane priority. They utilized his death so effectively that ultimately it feels like it was just a net zero gain there for either team. And SHG, they're currently at nearly a 4k gold lead, and Baron is almost on the rift. He's now spawning at that 20-minute mark, so 30 seconds until that Baron comes down, Pike. And vision control, I do like it. Team Secret Wales, they've got that river, they've got their own jungle, and SHG in kind, but they also have some sneaky vision down in Team Secret Wales top side there. They have a little bit, I want to say, of an informational advantage.
It's not even that. I'm just looking at a pure items advantage. It's 4-0 Pantheon. Van 1 got a full black cleaver on top of his toe. That is crazy amounts of damage. If he gets onto those tanks, he will shred them, but Rift Herald's being dropped topside. They're obviously looking for a play. Baron is now up. They could be looking to do another big team fight, or they could just be looking to drop it, just open up that map a little bit more, and maybe even take it for a ride somewhere else. But again, I'm struggling to see how does Secret Wales really start to slow this game down and control the pace a little bit more. It just feels like they've been on the back foot since about 10 minutes.
Which is such a fascinating topic, because pre-draft we were talking about how Team Secret Wales, they're the ones who like to come out aggressive. They're the ones who like to really have a fast-paced game. And SHG typically are the slower teams, but I'm really appreciating the dynamics coming out of SHG. Like you called out earlier, they've seen Team Secret Wales play aggressively, and they're like, you can do that, we can too, watch us. And so far, they're beating Team Secret Wales at their own game. But if we were to talk about how Team Secret Wales can kind of find their way back in this game, and let's be real, but they're not out of this by a long shot, it's going to be layering that hero's entrance, I dare say, on top of a Yunara dive with his toe frontlining in the Crescent Guard, and that Renekton just deep in the back lines if they can get past Evie. I feel like you have to pick Evie, then go for your fight.
Pun could just be caught out here as he does have to burn the flash, or double flash actually, Pun, but there's the Great Skyfall too. Histos now joining this fight. It's a 3v1, but no, absolutely blasted. Marble is already just popping them out of the game. The TP might not have been the right call there, Dire. You're still holding on, the Pop Blossom hits, and you're still trying to survive. The Wild Growth is going to keep them alive a little bit longer. Between two, is going to be able to get them inside the cage, and Van 1 is just hitting them from so far away, locking down another kill. 5-0-2 for this jungler at SHG, and again, they are unrelenting.
This is SHG in their finest form. It's like they knew they were coming into this, the underdogs, and were like, we are going to show you not to underestimate us. They 3-0 swept Garm, and I don't want to get too hyperbolic. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but they have put themselves in a very strong position here in this game one. They're the ones making the plays. They're being proactive. This is the SHG that we all want to see here in these playoffs. This play, they just pulled the trigger on Pun. They committed. They forced the TPs out of Team Secret Wales, and they were just on the back foot. They never had a look in this fight. And I do want to call out Van 1. He was just able to get ahead of that Dire Galio movement ability, preventing him from getting far away, keeping him close, allowing SHG to layer that damage down and secure themselves that second kill. And with that priority, they get the mid lane priority, they get vision control around that Baron, and they're at a 6k gold lead, Pike.
It's such a big state of the game. 23 minutes in, 6k is pretty solid. There's no nails in the coffin just yet, but there's a coffin, it's been built, and they're just waiting. So I'm curious to see where the priority is going to be, and you can see the vision controls telling me Baron is on the cards for SHG. I think Secret Wales are just a little bit too behind in the tempo to be able to make anything happen. Yanara is still struggling to get that third item. Look at Kai'Sa, look at Marble. The Dawn is online, the Rageblade, the Kraken. I am now very scared of this Kai'Sa, and with the engages we're seeing out of Vista, out of Van, out of Evie, level 14 Kai'Sa is the one I'm going to be watching in all of these team fights as the Baron has been started up.
They've pulled that trigger. They are going to bait Team Secret Whales in. They've committed their own TPs. Evie against the world here. He is going to try and zone Team Secret Whales for as long as he can. They are contesting vision. They've committed the TP here, Pike. They're looking for this fight.
Wait, Pun's in the middle of the pit, but he's able to slice over those walls. But again, they dropped it down. They got the reset. It could have been SHG looking for more of a fight, but there was just not enough people really willing to commit. They got the Baron down to about 4k health. Usually, 3k health is where you pull the trigger and say, it's do or die now. We got to go or we don't at all. And I think the smart play was, let's disengage and look for something more. The Dragon is up. This could take SHG to Soul Point if they can lock it down.
Well, that's the thing. They're using their top lane priority, that top lane tempo, to force Dire to respond, and they have the numbers advantage on this fourth Drake of the game, and they're going to be able to secure this one for free for themselves as well. Hizto in the area, but knows he couldn't contest. That was such a heads-up play from SHG. Start the Baron, draw Team Secret Whales in, force them to burn those TPs, and then disengage when they did show up, send the members down they needed to that Drake, and Team Secret Whales, they couldn't send the same amount of members. They had to respond to the priority that SHG had built for themselves in those earlier lane pushes. So now, if SHG do want to go for this Baron, they are ready. They are online. And if they see Pun or Dire out of position, they know it's going to be a 4v5 Pike. This is SHG controlling this game.
And they are absolutely in the driving wheel. They're ready to go. They're taking us on a ride because it's a totally different SHG than we've seen for the regular split. This is the SHG we saw dominating last night, and I'm so here for it. We've been wanting to see this team from Japan get it done, and they are showing us how to do it. Against the #1 seed, I might add. Secret Whales have been dominant all year long. And now it looks like they're getting cleaned up a little bit. But I can't go too far into it though, Logan. It is still game 1 of a best of 5. But Baron's been started and it's going down very fast. 7k, 6k, 5k. Pun's taking the tunnel. He wants to be on the other side looking for a bit of a flank ankle action. But no, Pun is actually now being chased out. They said, we'll just reset. Let's look for a crocodile instead. Let's make some handbags. Now Evie Van looking very confident. They want to go for it. Van 1 gets the lockdown. It is a crocodile, but the rest of the team is here. Marble joining the fight. Whole team's looking to lock him down, and he is just gone. Now they're looking to turn their tides. What is his to do? The flash is so good. Grand Skyfall 2. Here is just trying to lock him down. He's over the wall. They've broken up the team. They're looking at Van 1, but here's Ari as well. Between two worlds is looking strong. Marble's packing a punch. Yes, you still get a kill, but it's not going to be enough as Evie takes out his toe, and SHG still take the fight.
SHG laid the trap beautifully. They saw Pun Hextech Gate over the Baron pit and they went, there he is, get him. They won the fight 2-1. Neither team have their jungler, so SHG, they feel confident starting this Baron up again. It's the same play time and time again. Bait them in, turn on them, win the fight, and then they control the game. They control the pace.
Oh my god, Dari is just flashing after Dire. What is Dire doing solo? Just in their top lane. This is an absolute... Oh, this is a rough play to be watching. Has to try and die under the tower. Yes, you might get a couple plates in that mid lane, but I don't know. I think Dire got a little bit too confident there in that. In a 1v3, I might add, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and these death timers, Pike, they're getting longer and longer the later we get into this game. It's 27.5 minutes, 13 kills, 4 Drakes have been taken down, and over 40 seconds when you die. That could make and break fights as SHG, they start the Baron again, Pike. It's the Baron show tonight, and TSW, they have to keep responding, but they keep on losing, Pike, as the fight about to break out.
But there is the dominance. They're saying we can start this one up. They're going back off it. They're looking at the full team. 3 members in the Pop Blossom. And he's able to kill out the Nico, but it's not enough. Ari on the back line is trying to get it done. But no, it's just too much. Pun is just the holding on. And they just can't do it. Marble is beyond absolute legend status. And they can go back to the Baron. They can take the objective and control the game even further. 6k, it doesn't feel like 6k. It feels like 10k at this point, Logan.
surely SHG take the Baron this time, Pike. I think it's about the 4th time they've started up, and a grand Skyfall coming through from Pantheon. It's still going.
Dire, what are you doing? Overstepping your reach. Your whole team's dead. What is Secret Wales doing? Are they playing mind games with us too? This just feels like they're so uncohesive. The communication's just not there. They're getting caught in traps. So many other people see. Vista as well getting these fantastic Pop Blossom engages. You can see Pun was like, we've got to take out Marble. But this Marble Stone is too hard to crack, and this Kai'Sa pick was just too good for this team. Look at the damage, Logan.
The fact that Marble on that Kai'Sa literally soloed Pun out, had so much damage and kiting. Pun was unable to connect, unable to get that healing that Renekton is so, strong with. And that's a 4-item Kai'Sa just wailing on him. There was nothing he could do. And Dire just caught out at the back end of that fight. It is a little confusing as to why he was still there. And I mean, Van One using that initiative, using that grand Skyfall of Pantheon to just connect and put him to bed. And now SHG, they're going to start this siege up. They're going to use this Baron power play that they've secured to get as much priority as they can. Evie, though, he might be caught as Team Secret Wales chases.
I love that they're looking for this proactive play. They need to right now because Dragon is up. It's sole point for SHG. They have the Baron on toe. The problem is they're 9k gold up. They have the extra items. Arya, again, being caught on the flank, but they are able to get out just in time. Pun, Dire, please do not go in there. But still, now they look at fight's been broken up. It's split up into 2. Looks like Dire's being taken out once again, but no. They're trying to hold on as long as they can. Evie is being looked at, but no. Van One trying to go for the drag. There's the hero's entrance. Marble is able to pick up the Golem. The objective has been stolen away by Visto, but is going to be enough as now they're trying to lock down as much damage as possible. Juicy damage coming out, and no, where did they go? Marble is just so big. And I love to see it. They lose the Dragon, they win the fight, and they could look to end the game with this Baron still very comfortably on a timer. Logan, what a different series we're watching, because there's the TP and they want to close this one out. The whole team is joining the fray. Tower 1 on the Nexus is down. The root is good. The Crocodile's trying to hold on. Flick locked up, locked down. Can they look to finish this one out? Histo's now joining the fight. And now all they need to do is let the Baron empowered minions take it home. And it looks like SHG is taking game 1 of Secret Wales in the best of 5.
What a start to tonight's best of 5 series. SHG, our 6th seed here in the LCP, take game 1 against Team Secret Wales, our number 1 seed. And that was just a spectacular show here, Pike. SHG, they took the lead after, like you said, about 10 minutes, and they never let it go. And tonight, it wasn't a slower death by 1,000 cuts game. It was a convincing hands diff. They pulled the trigger on those fights, and they won every single fight. And the way that they played around that Baron, Pike, it was inspirational. I can't say I've seen that play before.
Honestly, I think that was some of the best gameplay we've seen out of SHG all year long. I know it's only split 1, but this is a team we've been wanting to see, and they're starting to bring it at the moments it is most important. We can look at the damage charts. You can see how big of a difference we saw in all lanes. It was control, control, control from SHG. From start to finish, they had a game plan and they ran away with it.
I just love that Marble took the Kai'Sa and ruined Eddie's 100% win rate on that Yunara with his own Kai'Sa. So now Eddie doesn't have that Yunara, doesn't have that Kai'Sa for future matchups. But I really want to take a second to highlight Vista, Pike. You know better than anyone, because you were calling these fights, how Vista was engaging and getting so many multi-man knockups with those Pop Blossoms. I don't think he hit less than 3 when he was able to connect. Just value, able to set up those fights and those engages.
Look, and like exactly like you said, it's all about how much impact they had. I feel like Lulu, yeah, does have a lot of the shields, but it's just not enough to actually have the same amount of impact when your engage can knock up the entire team. So it was like, what can Lulu really do other than give you a wild growth, make you big, give you a good shield? I just don't know. I think the Nico just had their numbers, and now burning a Yanara pick, that is pretty rough in my opinion. So I don't know. I feel like it's big props to SHG just out-drafting, out-playing as well. We'll have to see if Secret Wales is able to do a little bit more, because these fights, Logan, these fights were just on point. You could see SHG knew exactly how strong they were and said, we can commit.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. I mean, Van 1 on this Pantheon was just so proactive. And the way that they were layering the CC, Lulu could hit them with the ult, but it just was not enough to prevent these engages. They played it spectacularly. Their comms were sublime. It was as if they were a well-oiled machine. Then they've played these games before. They've watched the VODs of TSW, and they knew how to pull them apart. They saw their strats and went, we can do it better. We can play around that. And Marvel, when he did come online in this class, his damage was off the charts. He found those backline angles, and Eddie was just unable to compete because Eddie and Evie, phenomenal frontlining. Spectacular.
What do you think about the current meta?
いきます。
What do you think of the current meta there, Logan? Because honestly, I'm going.
I'm wondering where it's going, because the meta for me, it could be anything, Pike, right now after that game.
Look, I want to see Rise. That's my meta. Get the Rise in those games. Get it realm warping around the map. That's where we're going to see it. But game one, Logan, regardless, that was an absolute... We didn't expect it to be just like that. We expected it to be a little bit more even. We expected Secret Wales to take a bit more of a lead. But honestly, I think you said it best, that SHG said, hey, we like how you're playing the game right now. Let's give it a go. And they're now dominating.
That's it. And we can find out where we are all going on February 26th. But we will get to game 2 after this break, because here, Pike, in the LCP, we're made for this.
Đợi em xíu.
Ê này, đi đâu đấy?
Hả?
Game bắt đầu rồi kìa.
Chuột nổ luôn kìa.
Ừ, bây giờ chuột lấy tích sát thương.
Em vừa làm gì rồi?
Nhiệm vụ xong rồi kìa, lấy quà đi. Em ở đó làm gì? Đi về đi.
Đi tìm Akasan đi.
Ataka bị xóa rồi, đọc bản cập nhật đi chứ.
À, đánh thường mà đâu ghê.
Đồ mới mà. Thôi không chơi nữa, đọc bản cập nhật đi rồi tính tiếp.
やっとラップが緑になったって。
初めてこんな長いパッチノート見たなって思って。
我觉得最大改动是任务吧，因为这样前面就换线不了了，只能先去做任务。
すごく ADC は前より強いロールになったと思うんで楽しい。
确实上路有点少，他船长后面有点游龙。 现在节奏跟之前完全不一样。
クエストの影響でスタップが起きないっていうので、こう連戦がより頻繁に戦闘が起きて、主導権を得るためにこう戦うことが増えていくと思うので。
Phiên bản này thì sẽ cho khán giả coi được rất nhiều kiểu giao tranh này kia vui hơn mấy mùa trước.
我感觉就是钱会来得很快吧，因为塔皮每个塔都有塔皮，
塔钱也会让游戏进程变快，大家中费会成型的比较快。
Theo mình nghĩ thì với cơ chế trụ khi mà đẩy lính vào nó sẽ có nhiều bông hoa mặc ngoài trụ thì khi tụi mình sẽ lấy trụ dễ dàng hơn, tại vì khi đó thì tụi mình gây sát thương lên trụ sẽ tăng rất là nhiều sát thương.
然后2打2的话，我觉得之前太影响游戏了吧，因为每次到20分钟基本上都会在那里挂机。
20分からめっちゃ戦ってたけど、今20分に上がるパロンは今めっちゃ硬いから
簡単になんかタッチできない。
以中路来说肯定是科技强啊，因为阿卡丽这样很快能突发电信。
新しい日米みたいなやつありましたよ。
Tại vì mình đã đánh rất nhiều tướng lên trang bị đó, mình cảm thấy trang bị đó khá là lỗi.
ADC なんでやっぱりストームレーザーなんかすごく強いアイテムが戻ってきたので、なんかやっててすごく楽しいなっていう。
Và mình cảm thấy khá là thú vị khi mà chơi ở phiên bản này.
Read the patch notes.
Go read the patch notes. Please read the patch notes before you play.
大家好，我是 p a p e n i 我今天要教鼓励新年快乐，恭喜发财，红包拿来。
Oh, again.
恭喜发财，
恭喜发财。
哦、good， 红包拿来，
红包拿来。
哎 ，good，
恭喜发财，红包啊。again，
恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，
红包拿来，
红包拿来。哎，恭喜發財，紅包拿來。
You can say chúc mừng năm mới, chúc mừng
năm mới.
năm mới,
Yes, vạn sự như ý.
vạn sự như ý,
Như ý, yeah, như ý, ý. Vạn sự như ý.
vạn sự như ý,
Yeah.
chúc mừng năm mới, vạn sự như ý.
Yes.
It's easy. Only 2 words. Buone, feste.
Feste.
Yeah. Now you put it together
Uh-huh.
and you say it.
Buone feste. 翔さん、明けましておめでとう。
明けましておめでとう。日语也行啊，我也会啊。
Happy New Year's in Korean. You can say 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Yeah, that's perfect. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Yeah. In Việt Nam say chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Yeah. chúc mừng năm mới. Yeah.
恭喜发财，恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，
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 对，这样，恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng.
And we are back here at the LCP Pike. That game one, phenomenal. I'm still reeling from what I just witnessed.
I'm shook to my core, if I'm being honest, Logan. I'm shook to my core. That was not the game I was expecting to see game one. That was absolutely insane. How SHG flipped the script entirely and was saying, we know how to play aggressive far better than you ever could. You may have beaten us for those other previous series that we had in the regular split, but when we get to knockout stage, oh baby, it's time to shine. And SHG are a golden Seahawk, if you ask me. But like you said, it's only game 2. We got plenty more games to go, and the script could be flipped once again. We'll have to see if Secret Wales have an answer.
Absolutely. I mean, a chink has been exposed in the armor, and SHG are the ones to have done it, taking game one here against Team Secret Wales in spectacular fashion. But let's talk about game 2 here, Pike, as Team Secret Wales, they lock in first pick on the red side for themselves here. They've kind of changed it up a little bit from game 1, valuing that very, very first pick. They really are prioritizing something good, something strong strong for themselves. And depending on how the bans go, it might end up being that rise for Dyer that we have seen him on and play absolutely clinically. But I'm wondering what Team Secret Wales can do here to stop SHG's momentum, to prevent them steamrolling them again here in game 2, because they just had such a proactive composition, Pike.
And I think proactive is the right word. It's how fast can you move forward? You don't want to be moving backwards, of course. That's how you lose a game, unfortunately. So you're right. I think it comes down to how well they're going to draft this time. They've clearly shown their hand, and this is the comp we're very comfortable with. Let's see if they can do it again with a totally different set of champions. Fearless Draft means we are going to be seeing a whole new set. Depends whether we're going to see those high priorities. Like you said, the Rise, I'm thinking a Malphite is what Secret Wales is really gunning for. If that doesn't get banned out, it is locked in, and it's going to be so hard to deal with. No matter what AD carry you pick, that unstoppable force is coming thick and fast towards you in that bot lane. But now that we're entering into draft, there's the Rise. It's already gone. Varus off the board too.
Yeah, these bans, they're such classic ones, but I would like to highlight that Malphite was not banned and was not picked in game 1. He is the most banned champion here in the LCP with a grand total of 46 that has an exceedingly high win rate, proving his power, as we do see that Rise banned, as you mentioned, and Nocturne, because we do have a VCS team here. You must respect that Nocturne jungle. They are absolute menaces, but I still really like this ban coming out of SHG here. They refuse to let Pun have that volley bear. I would suspect that if it makes it to game 4 or game 5, that would be the time when SHG start to let Pun have it. But for now, they just will not let him have his comfort pick. And I think that is such a smart decision, because Pun, he's been shown to absolutely 1v5 on this bear. He has a 100% win rate, so you've just got to keep it down. But counter to that, Rumble, banned away. Such a good fit in so many different compositions. And if you can team it up with the likes of that Jarvan Fall, lay that equalizer across the top of that Cataclysm, you're cooked, Pike.
Look, I don't really like getting cooked all that much. That's not my vibe. But still, the fact that they've been at Zahan here and there's an Orianna up available still, Malphite's still available, I don't know what to tell you. I think you pick Orianna here and you just have a good time. But okay, let's just pick Gwen instead. Let's not worry about what I think. Nah, what is going on with these first picks, man? I'm so... What's happening? You're first picking Nah? Okay, J4 makes a little bit more sense first pick. Nice and proactive jungler. Going to get a lot of those early ganks. Level 2 gank in mid lane is pretty standard most of the time, but I love this. This is such a nice pick up for the jungle. There's the Orianna. What are you doing, Secret Wales? You could have had Orianna yourself.
Absolutely do love that coming out of SHG there. And I'm looking forward to seeing more...
I'm not sure if we... Look, and there's the Mbessa coming in too, but still, I feel like there's going to be an Azir being locked in now for Dyer. Okay, let's just go Akali. That's some aggressive right there. Oh, Silas too. I love that. Ari, you know what? Don't even worry about me. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. Corki as well. That's a bit of an interesting one. Corki being locked in. Okay. Here there. Guys, Logan has unfortunately DC, but he will be back very soon. Do not stress. But now, that's the Akali being locked in to go up against that Orianna. Logan, welcome back.
Thank you. In a moment of excitement, I just went, oh God, and my whole setup flipped over. But my goodness, this composition from both of these teams is coming together here. As we highlighted earlier, we were talking about that sort of Rumble J4. Banning away that Rumble means there will be no equalizer over the top of that Cataclysm. But Corki picked up such a strong bot laner here in the LCP. As Lee Sin, you were talking about it pre-draft as well, the aggression that a Lee Sin can bring to Bear Pike.
I actually love this. It is basically me telling that SHG has read the book, has read the manual that TSW has been playing all split long and said, I want to play this instead. Lee Sin is the early game jungler. He will be aggressive. He will be up in your face. Fantastic clear. Loves to gank. Probably more than a J4 does. So I love this pick, and you just think about the playmakes. Get an insec in there. You can jump in with an Orianna ball on top of you. That is such a big move. You land those resonating strikes, and Bob's your uncle. So that is such a great move, and the draft for SHG is looking fantastic thus far. But I say it's looking good. it can fall off pretty quickly if Lee Sin does not get that lead, if Van 1 does not stay relevant, the game could look very different as we enter mid to late game with the Corki. Bans coming through though, Alistair, Poppy, looking at those supports.
Supports are so important, and Vista deserves a shout out. Has earned 3 player of the matches for SHG throughout the split. So whatever Vista is going to be piloting will be a danger. I would expect a Bard ban actually to be coming out from the likes of Team Secret Wales, because that Bard utility, the playmaking it can bring to bear is just out of this world, just like Bard. But we'll have to wait and see for this last ban to come through. I like the Corki pick there for Marble. It does have that mobility to dodge away from that Ambessa public execution that she so clearly wants to get onto the backlines with. And Team Secret Wales, ban Aphelios. They do not want Marble having that Aphelios. I would absolutely expect SHG to pick up Bard if Team Secret Wales don't counter pick it away from them here, Pike.
I love the Aphelios ban. I think that's such a smart call. Don't let Marble have that champion. It will scale so fast. But another champion that scales that is a little bit underappreciated is Jinx, funnily enough. We could potentially see something along those lines where it does have a lot of engage. Disruption engage. We can hit them with those little zaps, but we'll have to see what they're going to lock down, as it is a misfortune, which tells me there's going to be a rel coming in nice and hot, which is going to be a huge chunk of let's get on top, lock them down, and get a bullet time moving. But there's a Nautilus potentially to counteract it. We can step in front and say we do not want you on top of our 80 carry, which is the Corki. So I like the misfortune. I kind of like the Nautilus better.
I would prefer to have seen a Leona picked up there. The ability to get that solar flare down no matter what, no matter where, and quicker than that depth charge could. But it does present that threat, obviously, with the dredge line depth charge combination. It just feels it's a little bit slower. It just feels like that misfortune is going to be able to layer that ultimate down for a little bit longer, getting that damage. And as you so rightfully call, this classic combination of Rel MF might be coming through and is locked for Vista. This is a champ that Vista has played in the LCP, and we do know he is a capable and competent pilot. And these compositions, they're completely different to game 1, but they still speak of aggression and, disruption and engagement here, which is lovely. Ambessa, public execution, Lee Sin, dragons raging, and Orianna has the delivery tools. Arel could do it. Ambessa, Lee Sin, they could do it. So they don't need the Nocturne to deliver this shockwave.
Who are you putting the winner of the draft on here? Because both drafts are looking pretty good, in my opinion. Who would you give the money over to? Who do you think's got this game based off purely draft?
You know what? Draft schmaft. I'm going vibes. I think Team Secret Wales, they've got Gwen in that top lane, and she always love a snip into the back lines of the enemies, and that could be a real threat. I think Team Secret Wales have themselves a really sort of fast, just fun composition, and I really hope that they feel that and they bring their best to bear here in this game too, Pike. What about you?
Honestly, I think SHG might have this. I think if the Lee Sin gets going nice and early and gets the enablement from this Orianna, I'm concerned. I think a good Lee Sin, especially at pro level, can get things done. We've seen it in the past. We will see it again, but we might just have to see it in game number 2 here, Logan. LCP, it is SHG versus TSW, and we are in for a fight of our life. And again, it looks like it's a pretty comfortable, let's just mellow out a little bit, guys.
So far, so good. As these invades, they do get punished so much more heavily with these earlier minion spawn at 30 seconds now. So they're always conscious of that. Evie just gets that ward down. His toe just flags and drags as Pun. Again, with this deep ward, he does this consistently. It would interest me to see if SHG try and make something of that in game 3. If Pun does it again, maybe have 2 or 3 members just waiting in that bush for him to make a play here. But we are on the Rift. It is game 2. It is our best of 5 in the LCP playoffs here, Pike. And after that game 1, my expectations for SHG, they're high right now.
Look, they're really high. I think game one was a showing that they are here to win it. They want to contest, so we'll have to see what it's going to be looking like. But Oriana does notoriously struggle into this Akali matchup. It's actually about a 45% loss rate. So it's going to be interesting to see how Oriana's going to stay relevant. Obviously, the early game's a lot harder for the Akali. You do just get outranged early. But as you get those executions going, you can move very quickly as Akali. You can move around and dance and give this robot some trouble. It just is all about surviving laning phase. I want to see TSW pull something out. I think they can. But right now, SHG have got a draft that is pretty mean.
Definitely, and with Arya having so much early game advantage over this Akali of Dire here, I think it's important that they play around that. Obviously, Dire will be pushed up, but it will give SHG access to that Drake early if their bot lane is also able to get that priority. But right now, it looks like Eddie and BA do have the priority here. They have that range from the Corki. They have the threat from the dredge line of the Nautilus, and Vista knows it. That's why he's sort of playing to the front. So if a dredge line does come out, it lands on Terrell, who can buffer it with the shield over the top there, and then Dire just in this mid lane here goes invisible, trying to prevent any counterplay from Arya here.
And again, I'm expecting this to be a nice slow start for both teams. Yes, you'd usually see some early ganks from junglers, but it is all about those full clears, getting that early gold on the board. This is the easiest time to get those clears. But now as well, Pun having a bit of a good time into Evie up on this top side. It's a bit of a rough one. The Gwen is able to snip their way through and get a lot of damage, but we could be looking at a 2v2. I said that just as I was like, oh, we want to see some more action. But no, Dai is already saying, we're aggressive. We're not going to give. They've already taken bottom scuttle. Let's take top.
And that is that edge, right? Van One, not willing to let it go for free, is here, but surely...
Oh, first blood from Pun! What?
What happened there? So Pun burnt the flash. Evie did not burn the flash. Okay, it will be interesting to see how that one plays out. I just presume it was a little bit of trading that unfortunately Evie just lost out on in a big way. Maybe didn't expect it to go that way. Pun brought too much damage to bear.
Hey, good heal coming through, jumping forward. Vista is already so low. Now Eddie's saying, I want to keep going, and no mana to follow up. Marble now trying to push them forward, but okay, little missteps and little miscalculations from the side of SHG is now bot lane's in control.
Yeah, really good dredge line there from BA to, very nearly on the Marble. As Marble just walks into the face of BA here, knows he doesn't have the mana, it's on cooldown, comfortable around that dredge line. As we see the stops, so Pun was recalling and Evie wanted to interrupt it, thinking that he had the health, but Pun just able to punish Evie for sticking around, trying to catch that wave. Now, with this split, with this season...
Nice engages though, Arya able to get out of dodge with that flash, but now they got to hold on. Sorry, but looks like Ved One wants to keep going. Flag and drag, not going to hit contact, but BA is here, so they're going to say, you know what? This ain't the fight.
Yeah, 3v2, it's rarely the fight. As they might look to continue it here, Pike. They have the vision control in the jungle, but they see that 3 members of SHG are there and they decide better of it. But on that top side, obviously Pun just punishing Evie for daring to prevent his recall and forcing him off of that wave. It's a nice win at the top side, but Pun now no longer has that flash. So if Evie does decide to go on him and starts to win the trade, he does have the flash and will be able to close that distance. So Pun does have to play careful for the next sort of 3 minutes, judging by those timers there. And otherwise, he does have that small CS advantage, and the first Drake is on the Rift. Pike.
I don't think you have to be playing safe whatsoever when you have a needlework available. Evie needs to be cautious. One misstep. Those scissors, they do hurt. We're always told, don't run with scissors as kids. Pun's telling us why.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Pun bullying Evie in this top side now. The ult burned. Evie did not use his. We see Van One rotating toward this grub pit, but they're not up for another 2 minutes. He wanted to contest that crab, but his toe already there. He is dominating this scuttle crab rift here.
His Toe's just scouting it out, just trying to keep an eye on it as the blue buff does get spawned, and His Toe does get spotted out on a ward. But again, you're both level 6. Look at Evie, they're pretty low. They could have looked for a dive, but instead they're looking to go for the steal. Ban 1 needs to be very cautious here. They're clearing out the vision. His Toe's just got full control, up 10 CS already. I think Van 1 has to be very careful, and it's just stolen away. What can he do? This is what I talked about though, Logan. The Lee Sin, if it gets denied early, it cannot do anything in a game. So Hook goes down, Vista on this bot side, Marble is taking a little bit of damage, but they have to just back out. But still, Lee Sin has to be proactive early, and J4 is just doing a better job of it right now.
Definitely invading his jungle, stealing his buffs, has the level advantage, and Van 1 struggling to find a way in right now. But it is only 7 minutes into this game. 1 kill over to Team Secret Wales. This is a better start from them. They're in a more comfortable position right now, and it's up to SHG to sort of find that same level of proactivity that they brought to bear in this game 1. We do see that Marble now level 6 as well, so these ultimates, they are almost all online. The next fight, wherever it may be, is going to be big. But we do see that vision being cleared, or at least placed down around that bot side Drake. So SHG, they want to know if Team Secret Wales do decide to pull that trigger. And Evie, he has to be so careful on this top side Pike. Pun proving himself to just absolutely run Evie down.
It's the Haunting, guys. There's that little bit of extra burn damage sitting on top. That is where the Gwen really shines. But items still are just looking more and more in favor of Secret Wales. We'll have to see if they're able to continue this momentum. Dragon's up. Void Grubs are up. It's an early Infernal Drag. That little injection of just a bit of damage can do so much. As a good hook lands, it is onto Vista though, and you've got to be very careful. One misstep and a bullet time can shred through you, even a level 1 bullet time.
Eddie doing a really good job there to poke Marble out, though, and prevent any sort of counterplay. BA is landing these dredge lines as an engage in the mid side.
Aria is going to be very careful as the Cataclysm's good. Dye is still taking up tower. Beautiful. He does go down to a 2v1. Aria is able to hold on just a little bit longer. BA as well is negative health and is going to go down potentially. Nice pickup from Van 1 as it's trades across the board, but SHG actually got the better of it.
A 2-for-1 in favor of SHG off the back of the Team Secret Wales play in mid and SHG play on the bot as a fight is on the top side.
Oh! No way, Pun is just flashing on cooldown to secure these kills on Evie, but cannot get it on this top side. You be so careful right now, both of you. Oh, almost had a heart palpitation. That's okay. They decided not to go for it. Let's watch the replay.
These player camps. So this is the replay of the mid gank. So His Toe flashes forward, gets that flag and drag, that engage, locks Aria down. Dyer able to get on top, and Aria with the hands keeps Dyer under that turret a little too long and gets the flash out of his opposing mid laner. So really Aria just comes up victorious. And here BA just caught out of position, went a little deep to get those wards. I feel like should have been a little more heads up, knowing that the Drake had been started on that vision, a bit cheeky, and so they were just able to rotate down, pick themselves up the free kill, get that first Drake, and with the priority they have secured for themselves across the rift, Van is also going to take these grubs. It's a repeat of game 1 Pike. They got the Drake, they've got the grubs, and kill-wise, they're still contesting.
I don't know. TSW got the first Drake. They were able to sneak it away just earlier on, but instead, wait, take that Drake away. But now as well, Eddie looking for the dive. Marble's pretty low, but you're just tanking far too long. The Magnet Storm is just too good. And again, the proactivity is now actually Secret Wales' downfall as SHG's just reading them like a book.
Yeah, they're definitely finding the answers they need here in the face of Team Secret Wales. As Van 1, he's here for a gank in this mid side. He's got all the time.
Oh, beautiful place. You're going back into it. No way. And they're still tanking up the tower Aria. One more tower shot would have been the absolute disaster. But still, Dyer actually came out really clutch.
Yeah, Dyer played that so clean to be able to avoid that 2v1, even very nearly taking out one of SHG there. But Ultimate's burnt, Flashes burnt. So these critical abilities, they're now on cooldown, these play-making maneuvers as we do go back to this replay on the bot side. So Marble ults to clear the wave. Beautifully done. Eddie cannot tank it all. His toe left under that turret alone, and Vista's Magnet Storm keeps Marble safe.
Oh my lord! What I'm noticing, this is the big thing that I'm noticing here, Logan, is all of these dives. The wrong people have been hit with the tower shots. It shouldn't have been Dyer taking those early tower shots. It should have been Histo. That's the tank that's trying to get those tower shots. Same with just then. Once the bullet time was used, you disengage and you stop it. But another steal of the blue buff. Histo's unrelenting, even in a couple small failures with those dives, is just saying, I will not let you have a blue buff. The cooldowns will not be yours, Van One. But it's just hard to watch, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is keeping up that tempo. He's keeping up that pace, and he's keeping up the vision control. He's letting Team Secret Whales get into the jungle as he goes in again.
Once again, he wants this blood. He wants to fight, but Van One is able to come back into it as they get another flag and drag through. So there's the shockwave. There's the kick under tower. Van One is layering it thick and hard, and our tire is being chased out by Vista. Resonating Strike is not going to land, and it just feels like SHG have the answers.
So right. The answers galore. Dyer here thinking about doing a cheeky something to prevent that recall, decides better of it, walks away, gets that cannon minion. We do love a little bit of experience and gold from our cannon minions, don't we, Pike? As we go back to this replay, and it's violence everywhere. It's fight. Histo gets a good initial engage onto Arya. Dyer, though, unable to get in. I feel like the Cataclysm was a little too early, and that shockwave onto 2, the Dragon's Rage under the turret. I almost feel like that was overkill as we're back to fighting, Pike.
Nah, never overkill in the face of any sort of chance to get to first stand. There is no overkill. There is just kill. So I am here for it. SHG are just playing these so well, and it just feels like small little missteps coming out of TSW. Histo is just not getting the right mind-body connection. Let's just call it that maybe, because they're just making plays that are not working in their favor. They're trying, but SHG's holding the line so well. So I want to see them start closing in the groundings of it all and make these plays work.
It's these dynamics that I'm really enjoying, right? We're seeing the styles switch up. We're seeing the priority switch. It's now Team Secret Whales who are trying to be proactive and make these plays happen. And it's as if SHG, they're like, we just played that game. We know your game and we know how to play into it. We're going to let you aggress onto us, but we are going to have the numbers already sitting here waiting. And Pun showing why he's such a strong 1v1 top laner here, Pike.
He is almost 20 CS up on the side of Evie, who is, yes, just down 1 death, but that's still a lot of gold. 600 in favor of Pun on this Gwen. You've got to be a little bit worried. It is a lot of damage. The Riftmaker already confirmed over against an Eclipse. I don't know. I'd probably take a Gwen with a Riftmaker. The healing is going to be huge. The true damage is even better. You got to be a little bit nervous, but at the end of the day, it's about getting this Ambessa onto the backline in a team fight. Gwen might not necessarily want a team fight, so they're just going to keep Ambessa in this top side and keep them out of these fights so they can do more. So I love this pick. I love this draft that they're starting to put together. It's now how do they execute just a little bit more as the next dragon is up.
That next dragon is being hotly contested. Team Secret Whales have the vision control. They have the priority access for members here. SHG, though, they do know that this is happening. They've got a few members of their own, but it does not look like they'll contest. They do start to walk away. Arya was still on that bot side. So Team Secret Whales, they've started that Drake stacking. They now have 2, and they are ready to take number 3 in another 5 minutes, because it looks like this might be their path in, their win con. Histo, he's found an angle here, Pike.
Dyer is also here, flag and drag. Flash from Arya, though, resonating straight. The Dragon's Rage is even better as Dyer has to survive just a little bit longer. Vista's down here. They're looking to turn this fight. This Shockwave is not going to be able to be used. It's just too much damage. Arya is low. There's the Shockwave. Histo survives with a little bit of health. TPs are coming in. It's just a little bit too slow as now BA is just being charged down by the rest of the team. Eddie's now here wanting to throw out some missiles, but they're going to do naught with helping naught. And now the double kill comes out for Marble, and the game is very comfortably over for SHG, up 1,000 gold and secure the fight.
I'm a Pike enjoyer. You just said naught does for naught, and I lost it. That was so good. As we do see SHG get the better of that fight. And again, it was a fight that I feel like Team Secret Wales, they initiated that one. They had two on the bot side. Histo had the flanking angle. Dyer was in their faces. But Van 1 and Arya, they were ready for it. They committed their flashes to slow the fight down, to break it away, as Evie onto Dyer, just able to trade so effectively with this Eclipse here, Pike. I'm loving this lane rotation. They've put Evie in a position where he can actually trade advantageously. As we go back to this replay, Dyer in the bushes. SHG don't know this. So TSW, they get a great start here, but they did not expect Van 1 in the area, and SHG using their priority in that mid lane. Their support is able to rotate down earlier, and they just collapse onto Histo, who is desperately trying to get Arya, but is unable to, because SHG, they commit the TP, they roam, but Pike, back to life, we're fighting.
There's another one as Histo is being jumped on. Flag and Drag's got its two members, but Dyer is trying to hold the line. Cataclysm down. SHG trying to hold on. Bullet time's even better. It's a reverse time. And now they're able to lock it down as Vista is low, but not low enough. And what's going to happen if you layer down a Cataclysm? A bullet time is always going to rain onto your head, no matter whose bullet time. Now BA is getting chunked out again. Oh, there's the flash insect kick. It's super beautiful. I love to see it. Marble picking up another kill. 3-0-3. Now Pun's joining the fight. The needlework is going to get it done, but is going to be enough damage as they are looking for more. Van 1 is low, but look at this Gwen, a fierce monster on the Rift, and SHG Marble has to flash out. But now that the flash is gone, Dyer could look for more, and they might just look for the reset. This is the game, Logan, and they're trying to flip it on every single fight.
I do love it. It ultimately ended up being a 1-for-1, but Van burns the flash. Marble, Eddie, 3 flashes burned from the junglers and the bot side of Team Secret Wales and SHG. But Evie, this whole time, was just left alone on his bot side tier 1 and earns some gold. Very nearly takes it down. I swear it's one hit, Pike. But the replay here is we go again. BA with a heads-up dredge line onto Van 1. Histo follows, and it feels like they try to disengage this one, but SHG, they've decided they want to pull the trigger. They want more, and that bullet time, as you so rightfully called, because Marble positioned himself beautifully, deep inside of his jungle, over that terrain, making it impossible for Team Secret Wales to be able to connect. And Van 1 with this Flash Dragon's Rage to send BA back into Vista and Marble was beautiful. That netted them that second kill. But here, Pun with the late TP, showing just how strong this Gwen can be. It is a threat that needs to be recognized and managed in these upcoming team fights, as we do see the third Drake of the game, and this could be sole point for Team Secret Wales coming on board in 45 seconds here, Pike. And that Baron, it's spawning in 20 as well. We are about to have so many objectives on the Rift.
I am very nervous about the state of this game too, purely because the Dragon Soul is a cloud. The movement speed in this game is going to be absolutely huge for both of these teams. A Gwen with a Cloud Soul, that they're just running at you with those needles. There is no getting away. You're going to get run down. Same with an Akali, same with a Corki. But then you look at the other side too, a Lee Sin, an Ambessa, this Rel as well. If they get the movement speed to be on top of you, that's going to really be hard to disengage. It's a good hook. Questionable if that should have actually hit, in my opinion, but that's okay. We'll let it slide. But still, the Dragon is up, and it is TSW with the first moves.
We have seen some pretty crazy hooks here in the LCP as BA trying to be a bouncer from SHG, but they want
Man
in
one
here.
on the other side. The flank is there. Look, I'm so sorry to interrupt us now. They want to go for it. It could just be a little bit too late as that is sole point now for TSW. But now they need to get out of this area. They're trying to bait a little bit of this fight, and I think that's the wrong call. They've lost one too many fights here. They're only down 700 gold. But now, they could have been looking as the Dragon's Rage does Lantern kick back. Resonating Strike's a hit, but not going to hit with anything else. And it is going to just slow it down.
And I do like that slowing down of that play. Team Secret Whales secure themselves the third Drake. They are on soul point. One more and they will get that Dragon Soul. And SHG, they know it. They're trying to push some priority in this mid lane, crack these towers because they need to start getting this map control here as Evie now comfortably trading into the likes of Pun with a couple more items under his belt.
They're looking for something here. Histo's able to join this fight. Evie is in trouble, has to flash, another flash forward. Pun wanted this kill. Flag is around the Cataclysm underneath the tower once again. Histo might survive this fight. Oh my lord, finally got the tower dive, able to flag and drag out. They're looking to take a bit more of this tower as Pun now is in trouble. They do survive. A fantastic pick for TSW.
And that's that proactivity that Histo has kept bringing to this rift. He might be 0-4-2, but he's still ahead 30 CS. He's still the one making these proactive engagements. As we see it here again, Marble just spots him out, but they go in, Pyke.
Oh my lord, Marble, what are you doing there? That is a level 15 Gwen. That is 4-0 as well. You can't go near that top laner. And they're just going to get stronger as they're making their way to level 20.
And this is the Pun that we're talking about. This is the Pun that on his volley bear is untouchable. And right now he is proving that even on this Gwen, he is a force to be reckoned with. And we didn't even see it because it never hit the rift in the LCP split one. But here it is in the playoffs. It feels like this was a comfort pick. It feels like this was a deep pocket champion for Pun that no one saw coming. And it has been unleashed on this rift. This is their win con. They need to play around Pun here if they want to be able to take this game. They do have those 3 Drakes. They are up 1,500 gold. And right now, this game, it feels quite close. It feels like Team Secret Whales, they've fought their way back from that sort of early lead that they'd handed over to SHG. And now I don't know how it's going to go. Van 1 has been playing so well. Histo, proactive engagements. Marble able to get some excellent ults down. Eddie, though, a quiet achiever, has out-CS'd Marble heavily as Pyke. We're in another fight.
Look, the whole point is send everything and the kitchen sink onto Pun and see if you can get it locked down as the rest of the team is locking it down too. There's the Magnet Storm, there's the bullet time, but they're able to sidestep out of it. Histo's trying to hold on a little bit longer, but no, Marble picks it up. Oh, there's the public execution. Dyer is able to walk out just scot-free, but you need to be very careful. Eddie's trying to lay down the damage. Now they're looking at Eddie anyway. He's able to pick up Vista, has to flash, has to make moves. It's a double kill going over to Eddie, but it's a triple for Marble and an absolute disaster as they get another resonating strike. It's the huge picks coming out of Van 1. Pun is the only survivor and the hope for TSW in this game.
The way that that fight started out with SHG committing onto Pun, as we do see Marble crack that mid-tier 1 turret, they started the fight on Pun, and Pun is the only one who walked away from it. It almost feels criminal, Pyke. As we do go back to this replay, you can see they've brought their numbers to bear. Histo is in the area, so there's a scuffle on the top. But Van 1 and Evie, they're able to deliver a lot of damage. But Pun, so fearsome. This bullet time ultimately doesn't get too much damage. I want to say 40 to 50% on some health bars, but it's enough for the rest of the team to follow up. Some excellent flash forwards to close this gap. But the positioning, Pyke, of SHG, they collapsed as a team, they fought as a team, and they knew their priority targets. And Van on the back end, following up, just knew he could get a little bit more, Pyke. He's proving to be a really strong jungler in this game, and he's caught up the CS diff as well.
Honestly, and that's a big thing. 1,000 gold lead for a Lee Sin at 25 minutes is pretty solid. It is Look at this gold graph. It is up and down. We're climbing ladders left, right, and center. I don't even know where. We're catching waves as well. This is a huge game, and SHG have actually held on very well. In fact, I would say they've done even better than that. They've controlled the state of the game to the point where they have maybe given a couple drags, they've maybe given a couple kills, but they've taken so much back as the gold is dead even at 25 minutes, and they might be taking their first dragon of the game.
And this is really heads-up play from Team Secret Wales. They knew that they could give over this Drake, and they sent Pun to that top side. We were literally watching him. He 100%ed that top side tier 2 turret as we were talking in under sort of 15, 20 seconds. And that's that cross-map play, that tempo that Team Secret Wales is bringing to bear. They knew SHG would go for the Drake to prevent the Soul, so they went, you know what? We're going to get things across the rift. We're going to clear our jungles. We're going to get our items, and we're going to take some turrets to get that gold back. And as you so rightfully called, they are now dead even in gold. And we're 26.5 minutes into this game. It may as well be minute 0 with the way it is right now, but you cannot ignore Van 1, 4-0, has not died. Marble, 6-1, netting so much gold for himself. And Pun on the other side equally has not died as well. The absolute menace that Pun is being on this Gwen, I'm still convinced, Pike, he is Team Secret Wales' win con. And SHG, they need to find a way to shut him down. And this might be it. They're going for the Baron again, Pike.
It's a good call because the TP is available for Gwen, but you got to be very careful of it. One misstep, and you got to be so sure. But a GA on Van 1 means they could commit to the fight and hope for a bit more, but that's going to be a big flank ankle. They've got the deep ward. Pun is on the backside, looking at Arya, getting the snips off, able to drop in, but there's the absolute shockwave. Van 1 kicks them out of though, but can they do any more? As look at Vista, he's on the backline, he's about to die. Look at the Cataclysm. The bullet time's not going to be enough as the resurrection's good. Marble is taken out by Dire, and SHG's just been split up and destroyed in the process. A double kill going over to Eddie means they almost get the clean ace, and they're looking at the Baron there, Logan. A huge turn, and TSW regain control.
SHG said, we saw your tempo, we can do it. And Team Secret Wales said, we've seen your Baron plays, we know what we need to do to stomp you. And it was that deep flanking TP from Pun. I don't think SHG were expecting it. They just didn't have that vision in their jungle, and Arya was caught out. SHG forced to respond, which let Team Secret Wales collapse in through the Baron pit on top of them. As we see it here again, no ward. Arya caught completely unawares. Van 1 forced to respond, and Dire from the top side as well. It was as if they had a multi-man pincer, multiple flank angles going on at the same time, because they know that SHG, when they pull the Baron, they're going to jump away as a 5-man ball. But Team Secret Wales, they collapsed on that 5-man ball from multiple angles and split the fight in their favor. Pun on this Gwen, I keep saying it, he's going to be their win con. And now Eddie, 4-1, able to get that damage down, get those kills while they're trying to deal with Pun on this Gwen. It's just a force to be reckoned with. But now they have the Baron, but SHG not scared.
Want to see if they can do a little bit more as Pun is trying to hold on, but there's no hurting Pun as they're looking at Van 1, who's going to pick up their second death of the game. And it's just, what can you do? Oi, the moves! Get out of here, Dire, with those. That was fantastic. But still, it's all about getting out of dodge. They have the Baron. They can use the minions here. But now they're saying we need to break up the fight. They've got their pick. Let's go get some more with it. Yeah, again, you were talking about Pun being the win con. I agree, but Eddie's slowly turning into a pretty big win con themselves. Those rockets are starting to hurt, and I think SHG is starting to feel it too.
Yeah, now that Eddie and Pun are linking up and they're very, very powerful, it is a serious and significant threat. Pun is able to just dive in the faces of SHG, force them to respond to him, and they cannot find an answer to both Pun and Eddie at the same time. And it just lets Eddie sit in those backlines and free fire on the top of SHG. So they're going to have to do something to break this duo up, whether they're able to get through Pun onto Eddie or whether they're able to remove Pun from the fight before it breaks out. I think they're going to be their solutions. They're going to be their answers. But Team Secret Wales, they're back in control. They've blown out this gold lead to 6,500 Pike. Mere minutes ago, it was even.
Those hooks are going to land, and I don't know where Evie's going to go, but it might be to a grey screen as they are one more hit away, and Pun locking down another kill. 6 and over, the bullet time's good. It's going to be enough damage to they dodge out. The kick's even better. It's too much. They lock them down, and if Pun's out of the game, Cataclysm's massive. The damage was huge. The shutdown's good, but Aria is all that's left standing. But Eddie is still a relevant Corki in this game. The triple kill gets it done, and now they're looking to walk down this bot side with a Baron buff in tow. They might be able to close it out right here, right now, Logan.
The Baron buff is about to drop off. It is still a 5,500 gold Baron power play as suddenly this gold, we were saying at the 27-minute mark, it was even, and now 4 minutes later, it's nearly 10K. I think you're right, Pike. I think they're going to end it.
It's just the Rel. It is all that they have. They're closing out this game. They're saying, you took game 1 from us. We refuse to go down without a fight, and we're going to take game 2, and now we've got a series on our hands.
Absolutely, we do. 1 game apiece here, Pike. You love to see it. Good quality League of Legends here for the LCP, and we are the beneficiaries. We get to see the best of the best playing here against one another. SHG are controlling, a commanding game 1, and they started strong here in game 2, but Team Secret Wales proved resilient, proved indomitable, and took this game over in late stages and won. That was Pun frontlining for the world. He bought the space, he bought the time for the rest of his team to be able to scale up, to come back into this fight, and Eddie piloted that Corki so effectively. We do see them back in these coach comms now. I imagine there's going to be some strategizing around these drafts. What can we bring to bear on the Rift here in game 3, Pike? But whatever it is, it's going to be so exciting.
And look at the damage graph. That is just an indicator of who was in charge, who was the big Mac Daddy, and it was Pun. 30k damage to 16.8. A clear difference. Yes, they got killed maybe twice that game, but there was no stopping. And they ended the game, Secret Wales, with a 9, almost 10k gold lead. When look, for the whole game, it's dead even right up until Secret Wales said, we're pulling the trigger. It's what they do best. It looked so shaky with so many of those early dives. They were really struggling to get some moves in that early fights. A lot of it, I would say, Histo was not able to really get the right momentum going for his team. That first blood, oh, too good for me. But still, it was nice to see that they were able to hold on. They said, hey, we just need to slow it down, slow the pace, let Eddie, let Pun come back a little bit more. I feel like they got a little bit overzealous. They were a little bit tight, but they were able to come back so well. And this flag and drag, so good, it's so clean. The Cataclysm on top, really got it done, but you can't deny, look at this dragon kick. It's too much. Straight back in after a shockwave, right into the hands, and it's just nothing Histo could do.
Frankly, Van 1 was absolutely a bright spark for SHG. Aria was pretty decent. Marble had some good stuff. Vista with the engages, but it just feels like they had a good performance, but Team Secret Wales, especially Pun, had an exceptional performance. Unfortunately, we spoke about this before we came into the BO5 tonight. I love Evie as a top laner. He's an excellent team fighter, but typically he doesn't get the better in those 1v1 in that laning phases, and it showed here. Pun was able to bully him down and get such a strong advantage that it didn't matter how good you team fought. That Gwen needed to be answered with at least 2 members, more often than not 3. And even here in this fight, Pun was the one that survived an all-out 5v5, and he was the one that got initiated on Pike.
Look, it's all that survivability. Pun really showing that the diversity of champion pools is how they like to play. I feel like we talk a big game for Evie as well, and you know what? Rightly so. Fantastic player. I do see him more strongly enabled as that big team fight facilitator on like something like a tank. put him onto something that's a little bit more aggressive, and I feel like he can get out sort of beefed, in my opinion. And it's probably not the right phrasing for it, but Pun just knows how to target all these champions that do so much damage so quickly. But this split fight is where the game really sort of turned on its head. There was nothing you could really do. They're face checking these wards, great hooks coming in, and then it's how do you survive? And you see Eddie throwing these rockets, and they are starting to hurt. And one more hit does secure it. They're walking at their tail. Pun, again, went in solo there and is still surviving even after their kick. They get taken out right at the end, but now Eddie's time to shine. He says, guys, just follow me in and we can get this done. Aria, the final coffin. It was just so good to see and so much damage. And you know what? Big props to TSW. They had such a shaky start. They came back with gusto.
Team Secret Wales are veterans. They've been here before. They know what this looks like and they are prepared. But enough about game one, enough about game two. We're looking forward to the future, Pike, for game three, which we will get to right after this break, because here in the LCP, we're made for this.
Đợi em xíu.
Ê này, đi đâu đấy?
Hả?
Game bắt đầu rồi kìa.
Chuột nổ luôn kìa.
Ừ, bây giờ chuột lấy tích sát thương.
Em vừa làm gì rồi?
Nhiệm vụ xong rồi kìa, lấy quà đi. Em ngồi đó làm gì? Đi về đi.
Đi tìm Akasan đi.
Ataka bị xóa rồi, độc bản cập nhật đi chứ.
À, đánh thường mà đâu ghê.
Đồ mới mà. Thôi không chơi nữa, độc bản cập nhật đi rồi tính tiếp.
やっとラップが緑になったって
初めてこんな長いパッチノート見たなって思って
我觉得最大改正是任务吧，因为这样前面就换线不了了，只能先去做任务。
すごく ADC は前より強いロールになったと思うんで楽しい。
确实上路有点爽，他船长后面有点游泳。 现在节奏跟之前完全不一样。
クエストの影響でスタップが起きないっていうので、こう連戦がより頻繁に戦闘が起きて、主導権を得るためにこう戦うことが増えていくと思うので。
Phiên bản này thì sẽ cho khán giả coi được rất nhiều kiểu giao tranh này kia vui hơn mấy 10 triệu.
我感觉就是钱会来得很快吧，因为塔皮每个塔都有塔皮，
塔钱也会让游戏进程变快，大家装备会成型的比较快。
Theo mình nghĩ thì với cơ chế trụ khi mà đẩy lính vào nó sẽ có nhiều bông hoa một quả trụ thì khi tụi mình sẽ lấy trụ dễ dàng hơn, tại vì khi đó thì tụi mình gây sát thương lên trụ sẽ tăng rất là nhiều sát thương.
然后2打2的话，我觉得之前太影响游戏了吧，因为每次到20分钟基本上都会在那里挂机。
20分からめっちゃ戦うんだけど、今20分に上がるパロンは今めっちゃ硬いから
簡単になんかタッチできない。
以中路来说肯定是科技强啊，因为阿卡丽这样很快能突发电刑。
新しい一兵みたいなやつありますよ。
Tại vì mình đã đánh rất nhiều tướng lên trang bị đó, mình cảm thấy trang bị đó khá là lỗi.
ADC なんでやっぱりストームレーザーなんかすごく強いアイテムが戻ってきたので、なんかやっててすごく楽しいなっていう。
Và mình cảm thấy khá là thú vị khi mà chơi ở phiên bản này.
Read the patch notes.
Go read the patch notes. Please read the patch notes before you play.
Game 2 done and dusted here in the LCP Pike as we do see Team Secret Whales fight back against SHG after their Game 1 victory. And as you said, and as we love to say in the business, we have a series on our hands here tonight, Pike.
We finally do. It's nice to see not a 3-0 stomp. We've got two teams contesting for their place in first stand. I'm so excited to see what Secret Whales are going to start doing to come back a little bit further. Again, they got the win, but it was a shaky start. It wasn't the convincing TSW that we've seen all split long. I want to see them get a little bit more proactivity, a little bit more, get their heads in the same headspace. They really need to be on the same page moving forward so they can get these wins a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner. But in saying that, there is undeniably SHG is being a huge contender. They have put in the work, Logan, and they're really stepping up right now in knockout stage.
It really does feel like they've brought their best to tonight's match. They've watched the VODs, they've studied the drafts, they know the picks and how Team Secret Whales want to play this, and they have answers. It's whether or not they can bring them to bear at the right times right now. I mean, we saw some fantastic proactivity coming out of his toe in the jungle from Team Secret Whales. Early in the game, they weren't able to link up and make it happen, but as they got more time in that match, they were able to sort of start bringing it together. We do see some phenomenal stats coming out of him. KD of 6 here and a significant CS difference at the 14-minute mark, Pike.
Look, this is the histo we want to start seeing. Is this the proactive histo that I've been talking up all night long? And I want to see him having not just impact, but sound impact. Impact that actually means something. I feel like every time we've seen him, he's making a dive, but it's just not in the right way. So I'm curious to see how Histo's actually going to be able to change up his sort of game plan a little bit more. And that's what I'm most excited to see. So whether Secret Whales can really rally around their jungler and do a little bit more is what I'm after.
For sure, and the jungler can be so important to any matchup. Being able to link up with those top laners, being able to link up with those mid laners and make those plays happen, turn the tides in your favor. I really do think it's their job to bring a numbers advantage to bear where you weren't expecting it. They call it a gank for a reason, Pike, as we do take a look at one of those mid laners that we would like to see Van 1 link up with, Aria, the mid laner of SHG, having some serious damage percentile here, 27%. That's significant here, Pike. You do love to see it.
That is 1/4 of your team, and there's 5 members on your team, which is even better of a stat. So honestly, the big thing that you got to give props to for Aria is they're having impact. They're making themselves known on the map no matter what. Kills and assists at 14 minutes is 3.0. So they're doing things proactively too. It's nice to see this team, this player in particular, really start to push their momentum in these early games. We talked about that in the mid laners. These are two mid laners that love to work really hard and actually assist the rest of the team. That is the mid laner's job too, is to follow your jungler around and put pressure on the map in these other lanes. That is exactly what Aria's been doing.
Absolutely, and I am so looking forward to what they can bring to bear here in Game 3 tonight, Pike, as we do go to Champ Select, and we've already got the 3 bans from both sides, and Bard! There it is, Bard, locked in for Vista for SHG.
Bard? What is going on?
Priority, Pike. You
Priority
love it.
Bard?
Yeah.
Malphite's available. Prioritize Malphite. Stop giving me. Actually, I do love a good Bard though, but that's neither here nor there. Zahan as well being hovered, and you know what? That's even better. But no, it's okay. Give Eddie the Aphelios. We've been talking about something like this too. We know Marble likes to play it, but maybe Eddie's saying I can do it better.
I mean, we've already seen the clash of I can do it better. Marble out-handsing with Eddie's Kai'Sa into Eddie's Yunara, but that classic bot lane duo, the Aphelios Thresh. So already SHG have a tall order to answer here, but because Team Secret Whales have exposed their bot lane so early, SHG are going to be able to pick apart the draft that is built around them. They're going to be able to prevent those sort of mid laners, junglers rotating, and I imagine that is where those bans have to come from SHG in to CFO, but Team Secret Whales. But I do love Zahen picked up. Earlier when SHG banned Zahen in game 2, I genuinely questioned it because I like Evie on Zahen, but they must have had a read to take it away from Team Secret Whales, and Siva picked up for Marble on that bot side. So it will be Siva and Bard in the bot lane duo into Aphelios Thresh Pike.
There is so much to break down here, Logan. Honestly, you got a Mundo being picked up here. Aphelios Thresh is already pretty gross in my opinion, but the Siva Bard matchup just spills out the game plan entirely for me. Zahan's happy to be sitting up in that top lane, just doing what they do best. Mundo, most likely in the jungle, is going to be running around, throwing cleavers, just getting big. This Bard's just going to be following whoever jungler they pick, and it's going to be a very mobile, proactive jungler, in my opinion, because Siva's just going to be very happy. Marble wants to sit in lane and power farm till the cows come home. That's exactly what we see. We're going to get 3-4 item Siva, and it's just going to walk through these guys. But when you have the Aphelios with the Thresh, the kill pressure is so much bigger, because if you're not careful and Aphelios gets a small lead, it could just be the game. But we don't make predictions like that here at the LCP. We like to keep it open-ended. But we're seeing more bans coming through too, because we can talk about these teams as we see more picks coming out. Olaf, Talia, I'm a fan.
You said farm until the cows come home. What do you mean? Farm until the fight breaks out, which will be inevitable. These two teams do loved. There's no Alistar on the
fight breaks out. Siva's still going to be running to the fight. Till then, the cows need to come home first. That's what I'm saying. But now, there's the Malphite ban. It could have been picked up, but that's fine.
We do see that Talia ban, that Malphite ban that we have expected several times here. It's finally banned away in game 3. Team Secret Whales clearly expecting SHG to possibly want to go for that. But I do like this composition here. They've drafted themselves a very run forward, roll you over composition, has SHG as their final ban locked in on Syndra. Dire has played Syndra very effectively. One time, won with it, but it was so good, it was memorable, Pike, and you know that is a good, strong game from your mid laner. He was able to buy so much space, so much priority for Team Secret Whales, and they were just able to run the Rift as Jax locked in here for Pun. That is undoubtedly going to be the top side Jax for Pun, and what pressure it can bring to bear.
I'm actually just loving that both team comps are very color-centric. We're seeing a lot of purple and blues on one side. We've got a lot of yellows and sort of reds on the other. Like, I'm sort of here for it because that's blue side versus red side. Pick another red-based champion. I'm down. This is looking great, but still, Jax, one of those... There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Give me those red champions. Sion being locked in. That's a big, meaty top laner. That tells me it's a Zahan in the jungle up against this Mundo, and I feel like that could spell a little bit of disaster. Oh, my lord. They're doing it. Another blue champion, please give me something good. But the Azir being locked in, LeBlanc being hovered. This is volatile space. Oh! Are we actually doing this?
Could they do it? Pike, they might do it.
This is all I've ever wanted. They've done it! Blue versus red team, actually a thing. Locked in, ready to go, but it's an Ahri being picked up against the Azir. What are you making of all of this? I've just been focusing on colors.
That makes you and me both. I'm over here going, oh my god, now that you've pointed that out. But I do like the Ahri being able to bring that charm into the mix, being able to get on top of Marble's Siva. If that spell shield is down, Marble will be picked so easily. Obviously, in a team fight, Sion the front wall, Zahan also a frontline. I do like the frontline SHG have built for themselves, but Jax and Mundo are also not to be underestimated here. This is going to be an interesting fight. We're going to see SHG, it feels like they want to ball up and just run over the likes of Team Secret Wales, but they are going to put up the roadblocks. They are going to be difficult to run over. That is a Mundo. He goes where he pleases. He pushes Pike. And this game, it's color coordinated, but it's also exciting.
Exciting is probably the more exciting word that I would use, funnily enough, than color coordinated, because that's just the side piece. That's just the little designer in me that's loving everything going on. But no, you're right. Mundo does go where he pleases, but also you got Sion, the train, going to be running where he pleases. He can disrupt these fights. But my only concern when it came to Secret Wales team comp is how do we see this Ahri work in particular with the Mundo? The big thing of note here is Ahri loves to get out and skirmish with the jungler too. Mundo's damage isn't huge comparatively to Zahan with the Azir. Like, there is a lot of kill threat there. I want to see how Ahri's going to be really aggressive in being able to get rotations early and impact the map. That is what I expect to see. Whether we see that, though, is a different story, but I have absolute faith in Dire.
I mean, you've got to... Dire is the superstar mid laner for Team Secret Wales, and he has proven himself time and time again. As a reminder, Team Secret Wales only lost one series in the entire LCP 2026 split, and that was to Relove DCG. But SHG, they are feeling themselves. They 3-0 clean swept Garm. They took a chink out of the armor that is Team Secret Wales, winning this game 1. So it is by far not even close to done and dusted here, Pike. We have a full, dare I say, 35 minutes ahead of us to enjoy what both of these teams have to bring to bear as this early skirmishing, it has started. SHG a little lower on the health bars, but have found that level advantage right now, Pike.
Look, and that's nothing too much to be worried about, as these thresh hooks are going to be thick, fast, and nutty, in my opinion. Make sure you don't have an allergy to that, because they could hurt. But still, it's all about the late game. We have got 2 hyper carries in the bot lane. That is what I'm thinking about. You got Aphelios with the Sivir. They want items. They want farm. That is really what they care about right now. If they're skirmishing too early, it has to result in a kill. If it doesn't, it's almost at a disadvantage. It's just wasted time where they could be getting gold.
Absolutely, and it's definitely something we need to pay attention to. Dire getting this early shove into Aria here, which you do like to see. Having that of his pun taken low on the top side, getting really cheeky with it, puts a ward down for their efforts, and Evie also warding to get that vision to try and prevent that counterplay, that potential gank in the future here. But oh my, Team Secret Wales, they forced Marble into a recall. Vista getting a good stun here, Pike, but just the priority everywhere across the Rift right now. This is the Team Secret Wales we are familiar with. They get that early priority. They get that aggression onto the Rift, and they force you on the back foot from the get-go. So it feels like SHG, I know it's only earlier, 3 minutes in, but it feels like they need to be proactive. They need to...
Oh, that's the proactivity we're talking about. As the flash over the wall. Lantern is absolute peak execution, as now they're trying to take the fight once again. Charm goes sideways, and they do cancel out the fight. They were saying, look, let's just go up top side. He's so wanted that scuttle. Now they're looking at bot side too. The fight is breaking out. There's the flash forward. Van White is gone. First blood heading over to the big corporate Mundo. He says, I'll go on your retreat. And Eddie is able to pick up Vista. It's a 2-0 over a scuttle crab. And look, they throw out the Lantern. Marble too does get hit. Not enough shields in the world can get you stopped from being chunked out like that. And now this is the Secret Wales we've been waiting for. That's the proactivity we wanted.
Absolutely, and I couldn't have asked for a better timing. As I'm saying, let's get this proactivity. Here it is again. Van flashing forward onto Dire's Ahri, and in response also flashing. So already significant summoners burnt. Van does so well to dodge that hook, to dodge that charm. It probably would have died a bit earlier if he hadn't have, so buys that time. But here, Team Secret Wales, they collapse faster, they collapse better, and his toe goes on that magical journey first. And there is nothing Vista can do as Eddie nets himself that second kill. I really do like that play. I like that SHG, they brought that proactivity to bear. I just would have loved to have seen more members rotate sooner, but that is the priority that Team Secret Whales bought for themselves early in the game, Pike.
That's it. That's what we like to see. And now you can see as well, Evie did have to back after a little bit more, but there's still, look at Pun just controlling the wave state. Might even be looking for a little bit of a sitting up on that top side in between those towers. But who knows? It is a Jax. They like to have fun. They like to play a little bit loose. Now, Eddie's in a bit of a weird spot, but Infernal Vista is going in the wrong direction. There's a tower there, my friends. You need to be very careful where you send those magical journeys. But now, it's just full control. I talked about giving Aphelios a lead in the early game. They just hit level 5, and they're 2-0-1, Logan.
And 15 CS up. They are a full 50% CS lead over their counterpart Marvel on that Sivir. And Sivir is infamous for being an absolute wave-clearing monster. So this is a really strong position for Eddie to find himself in this early in the game. And Team Secret Whales getting that kill onto Vista, they have that priority in the bot side, and they're able to secure that first straight for themselves. But it looks like they're trying to get something back on the top side, Pike.
I love that they're throwing out a couple of emotes being like, are you sure you want this dive, my guy? Like, this is not what you want to be doing, because I'm very happy to be here. Pun, just very relaxed. But this is what we were talking about. This was the chunk out that we saw that Pun was saying, yep, I've got low on mana, but I might be able to do something with it. Counter-Strike didn't hit, but they are able to get a little bit more damage off. This is a bit of a slow burn replay, if you ask me. What is going on?
Yeah,
actually this is Pun? What? There's a flash. What? What? No way. Survive? No way.
Oh.
Pun? Are you serious? Oh my lord. And then they return the fight with the kills down the bot side. Oh my god, the
Vista.
hooks.
The hook was so clean from BA, and then the magical journey was the only direction Vista could go. I think he was just trying to pull Eddie away to protect Marble there, but it was done and dusted. And that topside skirmish, it was so close. One more auto from Evie would have put Pun into the dirt, but it was not to be here, Pike. As we do see Team Secret Whales, in 7 minutes, they have a 2,000 gold advantage right now. 3-0 kill lead, and we do see BA trying to flay Marble, maybe bait that kind of sort of spell shield out of them, and that lantern, that's such a core part of what makes this duo so effective. It gives Aphelios that mobility that he is missing as an AD, and I really do like what we're seeing here. Team Secret Whales, he's already invading SHG's jungle. This is the Team Secret Whales that I think we need to be fearful of when they do hit the rift. This is the one, they get aggressive early, they find their tempo, and then they just put their foot down and they never relent. It's going to be tough for SHG to find a way to answer this, but I think it's going to be through that traditional 5v5 front-to-back fight. I feel like their wall is just bigger with that Sion and Zahen into a Pun on that Jax and Mundo.
I think the big thing here is, like, even though you have so much damage, how do you do damage to a Counter-Strike Jax? It's just going to be for naught, and I'm sorry, like, a Jax on top of you that you're trying to hurt, you don't have a good charm there, it's going to get a tower strike in there too. Nicely played, but yeah, I am slowly starting to fear what SHG can really do in this game when they are 3 kills down, 2k gold lead. It's only 8.5 minutes. The Void Grubs are up, they're ready to go, and we're getting a TP back to mid lane, and you can see Histo's already making their way to the Grubs. It's, how does Zahan, how does Van 1 really start to make an impact unless it's just through items?
I mean, right now, Team Secret Whales, they've got priority in the mid, they've got priority in that top side, so Histo should be able to take these Grubs relatively easily, but Van 1 has found an angle in, not on vision. It is a 2v1 right now.
But Histo's saying that's all right. Might be just giving up the 1 grub. But they did actually still pick up the 2. Van 1 is here. Dire's trying to make their way up. Does get the Spirit Rush and have to ulti out of it. That is not what you want. Unfortunately, Zahan using that just to get out a little bit further. Grim Deliverance is not the answer to just use to escape a fight.
Yeah, you see an Ari Charm and you Grim Deliverance away. You know it's not a great position to be in, but it was a 2v2 there, and Dyer did use his priority in that mid lane that he had earned for himself to get around to that fight, get his toe that sort of even footing. Interestingly here, though, I was going to point out Evie was keeping up in CS with Pun, but he has just fallen behind. It's still doing well on that Scion. You typically do expect Scions to be down in that CS early in the game, but Pun, this is what we've seen from him before and what he will continue to do. He gets his top lane wave pushed in and then he proxies and he buys himself time to jungle invade. He gets that priority, that pressure, that threat built up all across the top lane. And I expect to see this keep happening all game as a skirmish is going to break out on that top side while we're focused here on the bot. Just little trades, little pokes, a scuffle for priority because Pyke, that second Drake of the game, is hitting the rift in about 20 seconds time. So now is the time to push these waves out.
Yeah, look, and it's nice to see Eddie already getting that early shove. Does have that with the Infernum Gum, can get a little bit more priority too. But again, it's a Sivir. They can just throw out as many boomerangs as they want and it's going to get it done. But still, we'll have to see as Pun is doing a really good job just keeping Scion out of these fights. The second Scion starts to join these team fights, it's going to be that big meat shield that they're looking for. This is, you don't really get that sort of follow-up engage from Bard other than using the Tempest. So I feel like it is all on Scion to be that front line. And that second drag gone over to TSW. They're in great control of this game 11 minutes in. And I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. So Seahawks, come on, you got to start flying a little bit more. You have the Azir Golden Bird. You can get it done for us. Take us to Silver Scrapes. But still, it's only game 3. I want to see what's possible.
You've clearly been watching the NFL. Our SoftBank Hawks gaming team here are playing very, very well. They've slowed the tempo down. They're not making these mistakes that they can get caught out on. And right now, it's up to Team Secret Wales to sort of speed the game back up, if you will, Pyke. They're currently just... I feel like they're playing into the SHG's tempo. SHG, they want to keep it at this pace because we've seen them win from this position before. It's death by 1,000 cuts. If you try and dive them, and we saw it in game 2, they will respond to that dive. They will counter kill you and make you pay for it. So you lose that tempo.
Forward, Spirit Rush is there, but no, that is a tower shot still chasing you as well. Yes, Van 1 is up on this top side, but the Emperor's Divide is used. It's all on Van 1 to have a bit more damage as Dyer could be going into a trap, but they do know. His Toe's just walking through, says, I'll take this fight. Nice, there's the Emerald Glaive. Is it going to be enough damage? As Arya does pick up Dyer. Van 1 could go down for the troubles. The Counter-Strike hits. The Tempered Fate does go down. It's still Pun picking up Van 1, and it is Pun holding the line. Throws up the thumbs up as Histo is running at Vista. What can you do? Corporate Mundo says, I go where I please. Double flash for the troubles, and now Eddie is looking at this Scion. It's a lot of damage. It's not going to be enough. As the flash forward, one more auto will do it. It's not enough, and Evie gets out with his life.
My goodness. Oh,
Maybe.
BA is here, though.
Oh, good shields.
Oh,
it's okay. Look, I got excited for a second. They're still holding it in. The TP is coming down. Vista. But now Histo's here too to tank it up. It looks like he's just going to go down for it. Eddie locking down the kill. Histo was like, I can tank it up. No stress at all. And first tower will still go down to TSW with Pun very happy in a side lane.
Really good plays coming out of Team Secret Wales there, very heavily punishing SHG's aggression. They were able to extend that fight that broke out in TSW's topside jungle as we go back to this replay. So it all starts here in this mid lane. Histo and Dyer are here in the area. Now, Arya does well to get away, but has burned that ult, as you so rightly called out, and Van 1 responds. They do well to get on to Dyer and get one back. Flash for flash there, burning those ults, but unfortunately Pun had the priority, gets down sooner, is able to get that damage down before the Tempered Fate of Vista lands. So this is on that sort of tempo play where Team Secret Wales, having the priority, they're able to bring the members to bear sooner than SHG are. more flashes are burned on the backside of this. They extend that fight out. They're able to shut Evie down. And while they're shutting Evie down, while 3 members of SHG were dead, they also sent Pun to that bot side to get that tier 1 turret. And because it was first blood, they get that bonus injection of 300 additional gold there, Pike. So it's just that much more valuable.
Great
BA
hook.
hooks in.
Play comes in. Vista very able to hold on. Yeah, as well. Very low as Tempered Fate isn't going to hit, and that might just be losing. Oh, no! Yeah, he's just holding the line. Could not survive the fight as they sent 4 members. As TP up, down to the bot side. Up, down's not the way you want to be putting it, but still, now they're looking at this mid tower. Can they hold on as best they can? It's looking like it's just a bit of a skirmish, a little bit of shenanigans across the board. But with the Hextech Soul being the one available for this game, Tunnels will get you out of dodge pretty quick smart. Up, down.
Absolutely. Up, down, turn around. Up, down, turn around. But this game is looking unlikely to turn around with Team Secret Wales at a 5,000 gold lead. Aria goes deep here, Pike. He's getting punished.
Almost too deep. No way do they make that play. Incorrect as Vista able not to hold on a little bit more as they do tunnel out. The Magic Realm is good, but Histo's so tanky. What can you do when Pun is jumping on your head at your tier 1? An absolute shenanigans play. It was looking so good for SHG until Aria said, why am I at the enemy tier 2 when the tier 1's still up? What is going on here?
Went deeper than the Titanic with that dive between the tier 1 and the tier 2 turrets there. I would be so interested to get some insights into that Aria sort of play and to find out what happened there. Right now, Van 1 is going forward onto Dyer, though Dyer is forced to pop this ultimate and escape. So good pressure coming out of Van 1 as we go to this replay here, Pike. You do love to see it. They had the numbers. Oh. I think the idea was Aria was going to Emperor's Divide Eddie back toward the team, but it feels like he just missed. He was too far, wasn't able to connect. And Team Secret Wales, they were ready to punish. They had the numbers brought to bear. Just a disaster for SHG, quite frankly.
Yeah, and it's just leading to more and more leads to go. They picked up the Riptailed. Is safe and sound on side of Histo. A very different game from Histo as well, and I want to call it out. The last 2 games we had, he was making really proactive plays, and some of them just weren't for naught. SHG were reading them quite well. Now Histo's just on the mega farming tank Mundo, and he's just all about stacks on stacks on stacks, and he's getting them. He's actually got a lot of damage on his belt too. Zahan just really has not had the right moves just yet, but it's nice to see Histo not only being more proactive, but having such good impact for his team, which is what I wanted him to do. And he's just giving his team every tool available. And I don't know if it's a stapler, I don't know if it's maybe like a little desk fan, but either way, it's working the goods.
Absolutely. You take what you can get. You do your best with the tools that you are given here, Pike. As Team Secret Wales, it feels like they have control across this rift. Baron, 2 minutes. Drake, 4 minutes. And right now, every single wave is pushed in. SHG, they are on the back foot in the face of the Team Secret Wales that we have been expecting every single game here tonight. And they have turned up here in this game 3. They are invading the jungles. They are forcing SHG to match them. 3 members here, Pike. This might be a fight.
Oh, look, there's the Tempered Fate, but that is still the shield down. Let's see if they can take out Histo. He's a tanky boy. He might be able to pop that ultimate and get real big and nasty, but there's the Grim Deliverance. If it's going to be enough, it could just be able to pull them back, but still, that is a GA available, but that's Van 1 able to pick it up, is being resurrected. Empress Divide onto Pun in the backline. They do pick up the Juggler, flash over the wall, and he is able to get the 1-for-1, and now they've dropped the Riftail. The Jungler is gone. Let's see if they can hold on just a little bit more as they do send the charge. Can Histo get anything more for it? It does miss the tower. Ooh. Let's go for the other one, but instead they drive it into a wall. And it's not the play they were after. Histo with a slight misstep, a bit of a fumble.
Yeah, that Rift Herald was his deliverance and he failed to deliver on the promise. Unfortunately, his toe may need to go back to driving school, but his cleavers definitely know how to hit, and arguably, Pike, that is way scarier than any Rift Herald could be. They still increase their gold lead out to 8,000. It is quite commanding here at the 19th minute. And I mean, I feel like anyone from TSW could almost take a 1v1 against anyone from SHG. They have good, if not significant, CS leads across the map. 40 in their jungle alone. Histo is playing so well tonight. He had a serious CS lead in his game too as well. And we take a quick look at the items here. We've got the Storm Razor. We've got the Infinity Edge on a 5-0 Aphelios of Eddie Pike. What can SHG do in the face of so much damage so early?
I don't know how we haven't addressed it sooner that Eddie has an IE completed, a 3.3k gold lead over Marble in the 80k role. That is just a full item, and that is absolutely insane. One of the one champions you do not want to give early kills and early leads to is Aphelios, especially in this meta, when Storm Razor is such a prominent item, and now they're getting a little bit of that anti-heal online with the Last Whisper. Like, straight up, if they don't shut down Eddie in these next team fights, I don't know how they can side for a little bit longer. There is a fight about to brew. They're looking at the Baron. It's already at 2k health. They're able to lock down a little bit more and take the Lantern. It's a-okay, but now they want to get out of this fight as soon as possible. Good hook goes in. Dies in the backline. Spirit Rush goes forward. The damage is nice. The Glim Deliverance was not grim at all. If anything, it was a little bit sad. And still, Pun is now with this backline. They're doing the damage. And it is Team Secret Wales stomping over the enemy. SHG don't even know what hit them. Histo is a monster in this game. Baron secured. They're looking at the tier 2s now, and this is TSW's game to win. 12k gold in the pocket.
I'll tell you what hit them. It was a sad deliverance, as you said, Pike. I mean, SHG, they were late to the fight. Team Secret Wales, they got the Baron, and it looked like they wanted to disengage. Pun was just zoning SHG away and took the Thresh Lantern back over the wall. Was done, was dusted. But SHG, they wanted more. Marble popped that ult on the hunt. You heard that rallying cry, that fight. And here it is again, just the flank angle from Dire that Arya able to bring to bear. Pun goes back in, and it feels like this was that same Game 2 Baron pincer maneuver that they pulled off. They had the 3 in the front. They sent Dire and Pun around the sides, and SHG grouped up like they were in that ball of 5. Didn't know which way to defend here, Pike. And frankly, they fell apart in the face of that triple threat of Team Secret Wales. And as you say, 5 Baron empowered members. They're marching down these lanes. They have that top side pushed in, the mid pushed in, and right now they're going to take this straight. They're going to get this soul. They're going to have Baron and Soul, Pike, and that is a hex tech. That is not what you want an Aphelios to have.
It's a free static shiv at this point, and already the attack speed, the damage is way too much for SHG to deal with. Game 3, this is where you really need to start putting the heat on, and I think Team Secret Wales have found that heat. Yes, the Tempest Fate hit. Let's see if they can make a play off it as they go for the full engage. A little bit more damage going to get it done. This Aphelios is so low, but look at the Moonlight Vigil! It just absolutely destroyed. Histo does not care where your towers are. It is way too much. Yes, you take that little magic journey, but Histo is at the back, the whole team. But Dire is able to hold on. The Baron minions are still going strong. What an absolute shellacking here, Logan. What can you do in the face of a Mundo this big?
1 and 3, that Baron power play is going to be, I dare say, an LCP record-breaking power play. It's nearly 9,000 gold here, Pike. It's going to end at 8,858 gold. Team Secret Wales utilizing the power of the Baron, utilizing the power of that soul so effectively. They just forced their way into this base. SHG, they did well here. They very nearly took out Eddie, but nearly is not good enough. He picked up such a critical item. He got an LDR, the Lord Dominic's Regard, and was able to shred that front line of SHG here. Now they have all the time in the world. They have all the priority in the world to close this one out. Pike, so convincing has this game been so far for Team Secret Wales. They have not lost a single turret on this rift.
It's 24 minutes in the game. They've got Soul, they've had Baron, and they're 16.5k gold up. If they lose now, I'll shave my head, because that is absolutely crazy stats for this game. Secret Wales have not held back, and it is just pure damage, because this is their game to win. It is game 3. It'll take us. Where did Ari just go?
Oh.
Why are you walking anywhere near this Aphelios? Because you cannot, and he is just too strong. A double kill. Let's see if we can make it a triple. No, Pun takes it away instead. They're in their base. There's the triple instead too. Let's try and make it a quadra kill as they're going for the Grim Deliverance. It's not enough. The ace is taken away. Dire, and they are walking at their nexus. No fear in their eyes. They are here to go further in the LCP.
Team Secret Wales have earned themselves match point here as they are 2-1 against SHG Pike. And this is the domination that I think we all expected to see out of Team Secret Wales. Let's call game 1 a content game for Team Secret Wales. They were just finding their rhythm. They were just understanding what SHG were going to bring to bear. And they brought a lot to bear, so much so that it took them half of game 2 to get back into it as well. But game 3, Pike, they are online. They are looking scary. They are looking like the #1 seed here in the LCP. And it was every single player that was having their moments here. And I just don't even know where to start. BA able to get such good engages there, some protection. Eddie on that Aphelios though, my goodness. Bringing that damage to bear, I cannot wait for this damage graph.
This is a lot of damage. It's a lot of fear in the eyes for SHG in that game, because when your Siva is doing 13k to 28k over on the side for the Aphelios, something's gone awry. You can't even ignore the jungler, and also double the damage. The real saving highlight was honestly Azir trying to hold on, but now we're looking at these plays. Honestly, great proactivity here coming out for SHG, and now they're saying, oh, we'll just flip that. That's fine. Like, let's just turn it around.
Absolutely. And I mean, as we saw, it breaks out with these scuttle crab fights, right? And here in the LCP, scuttle crabs are everything. You win scuttle crabs, you win the game. But his toe wasn't taking it lying down. They lost this one here, but they took the rest of the scuttle crabs and asserted victory. But it was clean fight after clean fight that really put TSW ahead. A mistake here and there from SHG was punished so heavily. And yes, Amundo is not the highest damage jungler, but he is by far and away, I want to say, the tankiest jungler. So good luck getting through him when these fights do break out. He's able to apply so much pressure. He's able to soak so much damage that Team Secret Wales, they're just able to take any fight they want and they can win them. And they had all of the priority in the world, Pike. They were able to rotate to all of these fights so much faster. And I've been calling it out every game, and I haven't mentioned it here yet. This split, the sort of meta feels like a global meta. There was not a single global here tonight, Pike, but it felt like there was.
Oh, it's a bit of an interesting one. When your Mundo's that big, they're kind of global, right? Like, that's just the size difference, I guess. But no, it's almost a case, and I think you sort of talked about this Mundo and how they've had this sort of impact, and it's because they're so tanky. I'd actually just put it forward that we saw Mundo at Worlds 2025 for a reason. This champion can just move where they please, especially corporate Mundo. That's what we're seeing in these games, is they've identified that this champion can get it done no matter what they're doing or where they are. At the same time, you just can't deny that TSW just had an outstanding game. Yes, we saw a couple of mistakes coming out of SHG plays, like that Azir in the mid lane, but that's just this team was just playing so spectacularly. That's just the way I can put it. Like, you can't beat a team that gets 16k gold up at 24 minutes. You just can't.
Yeah, they got such a strong lead to start, and they drove that lead home. Histo frontlining, BA getting those engages, Dire everywhere, but let's go.
Any thoughts on today's opponent?
Tôi sẽ đi.
I feel like, Logan, they're actually saying that they're going to the finals with that kind of performance. It's like, I'm going to destroy them.
I'm just wondering.
That's what they're saying.
I'm just wondering where they're going, Pike. Like, where are they going? But you'll have to stay tuned and watch every game of the LCP, because on February 26th, all will be revealed here, Pike.
Pretty keen.
Exciting.
大家好，我是 p a p e n i 我今天要教鼓励新年快乐，恭喜发财，红包拿来。
哦 again，
恭喜发财，
恭喜发财。
哦 good， 红包拿来，
红包拿来。
哎 good， 恭喜发财，红包啊。OK， 恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，
红包拿来，
红包拿來。恭喜發財，紅包拿來。
You can say chúc mừng năm mới, chúc mừng
năm mới.
năm mới,
Yes. Vạn sự như ý.
vạn sự như ý,
Như ý. Yeah. Như ý. Vạn sự như ý.
vạn sự như ý.
Yeah.
Chúc mừng năm mới, vạn sự như ý.
Yes.
It's easy. Only 2 words. Buone, feste. Yeah. Now you put it together, and you say it.
Buone feste. 翔さん、明けましておめでとう。
明けましておめでとう。日语也行啊，我也会啊。Happy New Year's in Korean. You can say 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Yeah, that's perfect. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. Yeah. In Việt Nam say chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Yeah. Chúc mừng năm mới. Yeah. 恭喜发财，恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，
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 对，yeah，恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng,
an khang thịnh vượng. Đợi em xíu.
Ê này, đi đâu đấy?
Hả?
Game bắt đầu rồi kìa.
Chuột nổ luôn kìa.
Bây giờ chuột lấy tích sát thương.
Em vừa làm gì rồi?
Nhiệm vụ xong rồi kìa, lấy quà đi. Em ở đó làm gì? Đi về đi.
Đi tìm Akasan đi.
Ataka bị xóa rồi, độc bản cập nhật đi chứ.
Đánh thường mày đâu ghê.
Bộ mới mà, thôi không chơi nữa. Độc bản cập nhật đi rồi tính tiếp.
やっとラップが緑になったって
初めてこんな長いパッチノート見たなと思って
我觉得最大改动是任务吧，因为这样前面就换线不了，只能先去做任务。
すごく ADC は前より強いロールになってるので楽しい。
确实上路有点少，他船长后面有点油柔，节奏跟之前完全不一样。
クエストの影響でスワップが起きないっていうので、連戦がより頻繁に戦闘が起きて主導権のために戦うことが増えていくと思うので。
Trên đoạn này thì sẽ cho khán giả coi được rất nhiều kiểu giao tranh này kia vui hơn mấy mùa trước.
我感觉就是 钱会来得很快吧，因為塔皮每個塔都有塔皮。
塔錢也會讓遊戲進程變快，大家công費會呈現得比較快。
Theo mình nghĩ thì với cơ chế trụ khi mà đẩy lính vào nó sẽ có nhiều bông hoa và khỏi trụ thì khi tụi mình sẽ lấy trụ dễ dàng hơn, tại vì khi đó thì tụi mình gây sát thương lên trụ sẽ tăng rất là nhiều sát thương.
然後2打2的話，我覺得之前太影響遊戲了吧，因為每次到20分鐘基本上都會在那裡掛機。
20分からめっちゃ戦うんだけど、今20分に上がるパロが今めっちゃ硬いから
簡単になんかタッチできる。
以中路來說肯定是科技強，因為阿卡麗這樣很快就突發電信。
新しい一面みたいなやつあります。
Tại vì mình đã đánh rất nhiều tướng lên trang bị đó, mình cảm thấy trang bị đó khá là lỗi.
ADC なんでやっぱりストームレーザーなんかすごく強いアイテムが戻ってきたので、なんかやっててすごく楽しいなと思います。
Và mình cảm thấy khá là thú vị khi mà chơi ở phiên bản này.
Read the patch notes.
Go read the patch notes. Please read the patch notes before you play.
Welcome back to the LCP, where we find ourselves on the precipice of Game 4. Team Secret Wales have found themselves at match point here, Pike, and it's up to SHG to find a way back into this best-of-5 playoff series tonight.
Honestly, you just said the greatest word I think I've ever heard all day. Precipice. The precipice. And that's exactly what it is, because if SHG can win this game, we go to Game 5. If TSW win this game, they're on the precipice of going to finals and going somewhere. So, you know what? The precipice is here. I'm standing on the edge, and you know what? I'm ready to jump in.
We are always ready to jump into these games here, Pike, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But Game 3, Team Secret Wales took a commanding victory. They took the lead early, they ran with it, they applied that pedal to the metal, and they never let up. They hit top speed, and SHG were unable to throw any barriers in the way, but they might start here in Game 4 with first pick on the red side here, Pike. So they really want to prioritize comfort for one of their players here.
And it makes so much sense now. This is where you start saying, is the Malphite being locked in? Is Jace going to be looked at all? Is Jace been just taken out of the meta altogether? We're about to find out. The draft does kick on the way. But you know what? I'm pretty excited because this is Fearless. As the games go on, they get harder and harder to predict. It all comes down to what's in the meta, what we want to see, and then whether these teams want to actually play it. So we'll have to see what they're going to do. Any champions on the board you'd like to see played?
I mean, we've mentioned Malphite a million times, but I really, really want to see Team Secret Wales get their hands on the VCS stable that is Nocturne. I know that it's kind of soft banned because it doesn't have that Orianna Shockwave combo that it can bring, but we've seen it work really well with a Talia Weaver's Wall as well. Talia hems them in, the paranoia comes down, and you are trapped, afraid, alone in a dark corner while the enemy team collapses on you, Pike. That's the kind of victory I want to see here tonight from either side of one of these teams as we go to draft and pun.
Whatsoever. Yeah, get rid of that volley ban, Logan. Get it out of here. I don't want to see it. Pun is never allowed to play it ever again. He's too good. Varus as well being taken off the board. That's a meh comment. That's fine.
Absolutely expected that volley ban, and you are so right. As we see yet another Olaf ban come through. So maybe they've got a read here on some solo queue play, but I don't think we've seen Olaf on the Rift yet. So very interesting they're banning. Maybe it's a draft protection play rather than a sort of proactive ban away from anyone on Team Secret Wales. But the Blue Man Rise has been banned. We will not see him here on the Rift for this game for Pyke. And frankly, I think it's a good ban. We've seen the damage he can do here in the LCP, and they're putting respect on Rise's name.
Like you got it, the champion's just so strong at the moment. It is undeniably one of the strongest mid laners in the game right now. Rumble as well, one of the strongest top laners. Just get it off the board. LeBlanc's the interesting one as they're starting to lower down into the champion pool, but Talia being picked up for the side of SHG. They wanted that early prioritization. Sadly, there is no Pantheon to pair with it. It was played in game 1, so this is going to be an interesting what they're going to pair with it in the jungle and what Arya and Van 1 are going to be able to do moving around the map, because that Weaver's Wall, like you mentioned, is going to get us somewhere.
Absolutely. It's going to split up fights. It's going to be in that global meta that we've talked about, being able to just shift across the Rift as we see, I thought we were going to see a Vladimir locked in, but it is a Vi, that guaranteed point and click ult. However, there is no Ari to pair it with. So it makes me question, what will Team Secret Wales follow up on that Vi ultimate with? And it looks like they might be going with the Sylas. Sylas able to get around the Rift so very quickly, but it is an early pick if they lock him in here. Not many ultimates have been put down yet, but it will force SHG to draft around it. It will prevent that Malphite pick without the ban.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say, is they have literally said you are not allowed to play Malphite this game. If you pick it, you're having a laugh. But now as well, Nefiri being hovered. This is a good engage again. You talked about how you have the Nocturne potentially with the Weaver's Wall and locking them in. Nefiri can do very similar thing, still jump on you from afar, go invulnerable, can get a lot of damage off very quickly, and it's actually going to stop this fire from being able to engage. But instead, they look at Yorick.
Ooh.
That's quite interesting. Okay.
We do love a good split pushing Yorick here, Pyke, as it is locked in. We have seen Yorick on the Rift before. It will be interesting to see where it goes. Now, traditionally, Yoricks do go on that top side, so maybe Evie's going to have a crack at this one, pilot that to success, and get that pressure in the top side that he's so needed. And there it is. It is a Nocturne Talia combination. Pyke, I'm such a fan of this, and it's picked away from the team that you would expect Nocturne to be on, TSW, Team Secret Wales from the VCS. So I also feel like that's a soft ban against Team Secret Wales, preventing them from picking it up, but they'd already got their Vi, so it was, Oh.
Okay. First time
Hello?
LCP right now. Let's talk about this for a second. That's going to be a big boy if you ask me. Gets free ghouls to chomp on.
Absolutely. Really well called out there, Pyke. First time in the LCP, but it is not the first time that we've seen first-time picks. Last night, we got a Gragas as well, who we hadn't seen on the LCP. So I'm loving this from these teams. They're willing to bring out these first-time picks, but notably, they have to. We're in this game 4. It is Fearless Ban. These drafts are getting so interesting. We're seeing champions that we do not normally see, and Poppy is just never going to see the Rift here in the LCP. One of the single most banned champions in that top 10. And my goodness, they must have some plans. They don't want that steadfast presence interrupting that Vi, interrupting that Sylas, and potentially what they still have left to draft.
Look, you've still got a couple of really strong champions, especially on that bot side. I'm thinking about like a Braum combo too, if you want to put that on the side for TSW. It's another meaty front line, good shields, going to give a bit more front to back, going to help with the engage as well. Alistair still rings to mind. Rakan too, if you want to look for a little bit more engage with Vista in this bot side. So there are quite a few, but Rakan's already banned out. I'm just thinking so far ahead, they're already on top of it. Ezreal now gone, Poppy too. We'll see what that final ban is. It could really be anything. I think it's going to be another AD carry. They can't let Eddie have any kind of lead in this game, because just like that Aphelios, he can run away with it.
rightfully called out there, Pike. Lucian banned away from Eddie, really attacking that champ pool. Kaiser gone, Unara, Ezreal, MF, Corky, all champs that he has played so many times here, gone. So will be interesting to see what Eddie does bring to bear. But I do want to loop back to the supports that you were talking about. Basically, the only sort of picks that are left around, we've got the Leona still available. We still have that Nami, but Caitlyn, such a good pick. Long range damage over the top of this beefy front line. Vi, Silas, and Cho'Gath in your face while Caitlyn pumping from long range. Pike, it's already pretty good.
It's such a strong AD carry at the moment in the meta too. Like, it is the extra range that you have as Caitlyn, getting those headshots off your damage when you have boots already put in off to the side. Having a 6-item Caitlyn's going to really hurt, but Jhin to counteract it is even nicer. Open up the curtains. You have more range than a Caitlyn, in my opinion, with that. With a Leona to boot, the lockdown is phenomenal. I'd be real shocked if they didn't look at the Alistar right now. But Karma too, the extra poke could be nice, but it's this lockdown that I'm seeing from the side of SHG in this bot lane that's going to be very, very hard to deal with. I think Alistar should be the call to be able to knock them away and maybe disrupt this engage that's Leona is going to do. But like I said, I mentioned the Braum. Anything to stop a big bullet coming down from the curtain call makes a lot of sense to me.
Definitely. Braum just throws up the wall, soaks that damage for days. I really do like that call. Obviously not the kind of disengage tool that Alistar normally is, unless he does have his ult. Braum's ult, a fantastic tool to prevent that Nocturne diving in if that spell shield is down, to prevent that Leona landing on top of your AD carry. Both of these compositions, they're quite fearsome. I'm expecting Evie to get some top lane priority into the likes of Pun on Cho'Gath, but like we've said, these are deep picks. We haven't seen Cho'Gath on the Rift yet. We don't know how well Pun can pilot this, at least from this split perspective here, Pike. This is going to be an interesting game 4 here. It is that match point for Team Secret Wales, and it is up to SHG to win this one, to keep their playoffs hopes alive in the top run. Of course, if they do lose, they get knocked down to the lower bracket and can still fight their way back up, but it's not where you want to be.
It's never too much fun to fight your way back, especially up against the first seed. We'll have to see if Secret Wales have something in their pocket that we do not know about. This Cho'Gath is such an interesting pick, and we're going to have to wait and get onto the Rift to find out why they've decided to lock it in. But again, the question is, can Secret Wales take out this game, or do the SoftBank Hawks got it in the bag? What is your thoughts here, Logan?
Pike, as my thoughts as we come into this game 4, we've hit Summoner Rift in this best of 5 playoff series between Team Secret Wales and SHG, is that SHG are going to win. They're going to take it to Silver Scrapes, and we're going to have a 5th game banger. Well, at least that's my hopes, even if it's not necessarily my thoughts. But that's, a man can dream.
I do like dreaming, honestly. It's mostly when I'm asleep, but daydreaming is a normal thing too. So I guess I dream a lot regardless. But still, we're in League of Legends. We're on the Rift, and we're ready to fight it out as the waves do crash. This is like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? I'm going to walk up here regardless. Don't you dare. But still, I think this is going to be a bit of a slow-paced game here, Logan, if I'm being honest. I think it's just going to be very relaxed. I think both these teams, especially in the bot lane, they just want to be just taking their time, last hitting, or maybe not. Maybe they just want to brawl it out instead. That's fine too, but that's fine. Let's not worry about it too much. What would you like to... What lane do you think is going to have the most impact?
Well, I definitely agree. I think it's going to be a slower game, to just go back to that for a moment, where neither team, I feel like, want to be the first to pull that trigger, as the Braum passive nearly gets a stun here on a Vista. Because if you pull that trigger and you lose that fight, you lose so much tempo, so much momentum, and that arguably is scarier than, losing any sort of lane advantage that you had by just giving over a couple of waves. But see, it's SHG. I really feel like they almost need to lean into that classic death by 1,000 cuts. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. They need to eke out these advantages. In the top side, they have a ranged advantage. In that mid lane, they have that ranged advantage again. So they need to put that pressure on. But I think the most explosive lane, to your question, could be top side, Pike.
Oh, and they're looking like they're doing some damage instead. Pun already taken so low as Evie's throwing those ghouls out, and they're getting it all done. But still, we'll have to see how this Cho'Gath's going to be really making some moves, because, like you said, it's that range difference. Is how does Cho'Gath get back into this game, or how do they stay relevant, even though they are going to scale incredibly hard?
I mean, SHG's Evie is just a lane-splitting monster. He will be able to push these turrets in if left unchecked. Oh, a good Brawn passive stun there onto Marble, but just pops the barrier to prevent any more damage. Pike, his toe roaming.
Aria. Oh, good flash from both. It was simultaneous flash too, as there's the flick. It's going to be able to do any more as Dire is quite low. Van 1 is in the vicinity. 2v2, not the end of the world.
Yeah, just going to show face, say that, hey, this is a 2v2 if you do decide to go in, so you better stop. A little bit of trading here in this top side. Evie positioning well around Pun, but Pun able to trade back quite nicely there, Pike. You do love to see it. Pun refusing to be bullied away, but his toe on a ward.
His toe's always on a ward, especially with these early ganks. He sort of expected at this point, but it's not the end of the world. It's all about alleviating pressure right now. Pun is quite low, not much mana to speak of, so it's all about just getting them onto a good reset. But you can see a very quick return over on the side for Van 1 up to the top side, so could be looking for just their Krugs. Again, nice and slow game, Logan. Nice and slow game. I'm a fan of it. Gives us a break. We just have a bit of a chat, a bit of a chin wag.
Yeah, look, it gives us plenty of time to take a look at even the summoner's spells, because Eddie critically has picked up that cleanse, respecting the potential of that solar flare coming out of Leona. Does not want to get caught in that CC, and I think that is a critical decision that will prove invaluable later on here, Pike. But Team Secret Wales, they have secured some serious priority on this bot side, and the Drake is up in 30 seconds, so the timing is pretty darn good here, I think. They've positioned themselves well, and Dire also pushing in that mid lane. It looks like they want to prioritize this first Drake here for game 4.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? It hasn't happened yet. I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is, you know? Let's just enjoy that. Yeah. They could look for the drag. They might not look for the drag. They're just getting some vision. They're just seeing where the hats are, you know? They're just trying on a couple styles, and they're like, yeah, this one kind of works. But, yeah, I'm expecting this Aria to have a very favorable matchup regardless of this game. And that's probably the lane. I was going to look at this top lane, but I feel like Pun's just going to have a bit of a struggle streak until he can start getting some mass and some size. He's already gone for that early Bramble Vest, so he's cancelling out a lot of that healing that Evie's going to be getting from the runes there from the grass. But still, I think this Sylas matchup into Taliyah is always such a struggle. I think Dire is really looking to play around these team fights, get the right ultimate, maybe get the paranoia, maybe get a maiden as well, and just see if they can use that to their advantage. But these seismic shoves are just going to be honestly horrendous for Dire for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and those pebbles preventing those dashes. Yeah,
We'd be looking for... Oh, no. Oof. Sorry, I was getting excited. They were getting the stacks.
I'm always excited for fights here, Pike, as those pebbles do make a nightmare for Sylas, constantly getting stunned if he does try for anything.
Flash stun is good. Weaver's Wall's here. I'm so sorry, I've got to keep going now. Vista is getting a little bit low, but now the eye is so low. Now there's the size. Oh my lord, First Blood goes over to Dire. He's able to lock it down. Can they get a little bit further as they are chunking out the damage? Eddie is low. Ari is lower. It's just not going to be enough as Bai does pick it up. Now Marble's caught. He gets hit with the chains. Peak range. One more hit will do it, and Dire is 2-0 at 6 minutes. That's a disaster for the side of SHG. Shambles.
Pike, that is a fight SHG wanted. Vista flashed forward into the stun. Arya threw Taliyah's Weaver Wall down and tried to trap them in, but it's not done.
I was going to say, Dire, this is very careless. The paranoia goes forward, but no, his toe's here to recover. Vista says, I can pick up a kill in return, so the 1-for-1 trade. But, I don't know, still looks a little bit dire to me for the side of SHG. Sorry.
Dyer does find himself. Dyer does find himself up in the position of 2-1, though he is nearly 20 CS down, so this kill's going to make up for that gold. As we do go back to this replay, SHG are the ones that aggress forward. They're the ones that make the call to start this fight. And initially, it doesn't go too bad for them, but Team Secret Wales just bring the members to bear. Dyer rotated so fast. Vista burns down, so there's no front line left here. And Team Secret Wales are just able to turn it around. And as you called, those chains landed beautifully onto Marble. And then this follow-up, it's always the Scuttle Crab, Pike. Always. Van thinks he can solo Dyer down here. Sorry, you go.
Oh, no, he can do it, but it's just with Vista being there, locks them down. It's always a bit, okay, SSG picking up Eddie in the return. Not too bad. 5 kills to 3 at 8 minutes. This is turning into a pretty good game if you ask me, Logan. The kills are thick and fast, and that is how we like it.
Absolutely, like Nutella. But this game is not slowing down. We are at a 1 kill per minute. This may be the single bloodiest game we've seen so far here in this best of 4 series tonight. But you pointed out a little earlier, Pun invested in that Bramble Vest to cut the healing of Evie. But Evie, might be caught out here.
Has to be careful. Vista isn't level 6 yet, so no solar flare, but Dyer steals away with the paranoia, does lock it down. Let's see if they can make any sort of impact as they are trying to hold out a little bit more. They go back into it. It's a return fight. Dyer may have bitten off a little bit too much than they can chew, but let's see. They might just have to sacrifice their Braum, and it's a disaster turn. Solar Flare lands, and the curtain call gets it done. Marble is able to look down the return fire of the paranoia. A double kill for Van 1, and what looks like a great engage from TSW just flipped the script.
Pike, you called it. Vista had no solar flare at the start of that fight, leveled up through the fight, and was able to use that solar flare to close out the back end. But we go to a replay here on this bot side. Team Secret Wales, they get an excellent engage onto Marble. They burn him down, and then Aria arrives, able to get that one back onto Eddie, and then it's straight back into the fighting. Van 1 is trying to steal jungle camps away from Team Secret Wales, and Dyer does not want to let them, hijacks that paranoia as we do see his toe on the Vi engage. But there's no follow-up here, Pike. It doesn't feel like they have the damage, and Vista frontlining against the world levels up off the kill onto BA, which gets the slow, and critically the vision from the curtain call allows, my goodness, so much, allows Van 1 to close out that fight. Pike, I don't even know what's happening right now. It's still that 1 kill per minute. It's faster than 1 kill per minute bloodbath, and that gold lead is back in SHG's favor right now. A topside fight might be breaking out.
I'm incredibly stressed right now. This is maybe a little bit too much for me. My heart's pumping. This is a very, very hectic game. Both these teams refuse to let up. But what I'm also noticing is something we haven't really touched on is we're always seeing Aria get those earlier rotations to die because you have that range advantage and the weave as well. You're able to make your way to these side lanes where these fights are starting. Yes, you might be a little bit behind. You didn't get those void grubs that we did see his toe pick up, but you're still having impact. And like you said, it's kills every minute right now. We might be clicking out of that soon, but still, invades on plays, on moves, on counter moves. It's just moving so fast that neither of these teams are really able to keep up with each other. They're just sort of throwing everything they can at the wall, and it's a weaver's wall if you ask me, and it's just trying to stick.
I really do enjoy these fights. It gets scrappy, it gets messy, and frankly, in my opinion, that is the best of the LCP. We fight, and we never, ever relent, and both of these teams are bringing that ethos. They're bringing that mentality to bear here tonight, Pike. But we need to take a breath. We need to slow ourselves down and regather our thoughts. We take a quick look at the vision control, but they're not going to let us. A TP's been committed here, Pike.
We can't do it. It's a full send kind of game. Aria is in here. Good flash from Pun to avoid the seismic shove. Yes, you're slowed. You have to deal with another set of walls. And Evie is able to lock it down. The 2v1 play was beautifully done.
Fantastic there, and no ults burned by SHG to take down Pun, and it cost Pun his flash, so they get that priority, they get that advantage in the top side. They're able to push the wave in, crack some plates, forcing Dire to leave that mid lane. He is able to, though, because Aria did have to recall, but Dire is still down 20 CS, down a level on his counterpart. SHG right now, they're in a good position. We've seen them here before. They can eke out those slow leads. They can push it from here if Team Secret Wales don't find something. If they don't get proactive engages, Dire needs to steal a serious ult here. Maybe even that solar flare onto the backline of Marble to shut him down, lock him out of the fight, I think, Pike.
That is exactly the one. But there's the paranoia. No rest for the Wicked, unfortunately, and we are the Wicked ones. Now they're looking for a big fight. Cease and desist is good. There's a beautiful seismic shove because Aria got there first. The flash over the wall to keep Histo alive, but they did secure Pun once again.
The Weaver's Wall, the meta is globals, and SHG are playing it perfectly. It was a fight over nothing, but it was good to get that pick. It was good to get that priority in the top side and apply that pressure. As Dire hijacked the ultimate of Evie and sends his maiden to try and buy some time and push the waves back out. I do like that play. It slows that push down from SHG. It decreases that tempo, but we are still here at 1 kill per minute. I feel like both of these teams, they see it and they're like, you know what? We need to keep this up. We need more. But SHG, they're invading Team Secret Wales' jungle. They're getting that deep vision control down that they need. But a play onto Evie here.
Yeah, they're looking for Evie as well, but Maiden is still up, and there's a lot of members still coming down. Dire wants to join this fight. Vista and Van 1 are here too. Evie's below half health, so they might just have to back it out because Eddie also low, and it's just a bit of a wet noodle fight.
You love to see it. It was a good response from both teams to come and protect their equal counterparts, but obviously SHG, they wanted to protect Evie.
Solar Flare 2. It's just too much CC for one Silas to hold on to. Aria picks up another kill. The paranoia has been dropped just for good measure to die in the dark.
Pike, Dire died doing nothing. SHG layered that CC so well, and it was all off the back of Vista's engage. That Zenith Blade into the stun, into the Solar Flare, and he just could not move. The Deadly Flourish sealed the deal. Aria securing it with a big old flick as well. This is the SHG, I feel, of game one. It's the return of the king, you know. They're making the plays. They're reading what Team Secret Wales is trying to get done. They have 4 role quests and a great flick from Aria again, Pike.
And Partner's just going to be caught out under tower once again. A nice little dive. They trade the Rift Herald on topside, but again, Cho'Gath has no mobility. You're up against a Yorick that is very strong. Like, they're almost at... They've got the anti-heal too. Cho'Gath can't really feast to get any of that health back. And now they're looking at their second dragon of the game, SHG, in a commanding lead. 2.5k gold up. 5 kills total up. And they're feeling good in this game 4.
Team Secret Wales are doing their best to try and get something else across the map. Dire is working away at that top side. Tier 1 does get it. It is the first turret, so he will actually get that extra injection of 300 gold there too. But on the other side, SHG, they secure themselves that second Drake of the game. They have started that Drake stacking. And right now, 16 minutes, we're at 15 kills. We've just fallen behind on that 1 kill per minute as the supportal combat breaks out over these wards. And that's what I was talking about before all this fighting broke out, Pike, is that these wards matter so much more when you have that Nocturne on the Rift. You need the deep vision, those flanking angles, just in case Nocturne's able to find someone and get a pick and take them out of the fight before it's even begun. We did just see Silas hijack that ultimate from Leona, so that could come in handy for the next team fight. But there's no objectives on the Rift, so I imagine these teams just want to farm for now, Pike.
farm, get a little bit more gold in the pocket. Items are starting to come online. Sundered Sky already picked up for Histo too, so a little bit of healing back into these team fights is going to be good. Proto Belt being picked up for Dire on the Silas is an interesting one, just getting that little bit of extra movement to be able to jump onto this backline too, or to evade something that's going to land. Again, we're seeing such high levels of CC coming out of SHG, and it's just going to get worse and worse as you have double burn items on Aria, that Leandres and the Blackfire. Man, you get hit with anything, you're probably going to die at a half health pretty quick.
Absolutely, but as SHG, in that small scuffle, as we were talking about, they bought themselves a space, I want to say. They forced that flash out of the Braum from Team Secret Whale, so that is a tool that he will not have available in the next team fight, whereas SHG, they have every single flash across the board. So it's just that little advantages that you eke out over the course of these, let's say, lulls while we farm up, and Pyke.
Is looking good as the flash comes out of Van 1. Clearly did not want this fight as Pun is on the backside. Does miss one as another flash. There's the ace in the hole. It's not going to do damage. Histo picks up Marble. And now they're looking at Heavy. The knockup is not going to hit, but they drop the Rift Herald instead. Let's see if they can take the tier 1 mid with this pressure and the successful play to take out the 80 carry. Still, couple bit of a Weaver's Wall to block the charge. It just wasn't fast enough, and it still gets through.
Yeah, nice Weaver's Wall there to try and break up the Rift Herald, but unfortunately it made its way through, is able to crack that turret. But SHG put up a good defense, and the turret does not go down there, Pyke, as you so rightfully call. They got the kill onto Marble. They got themselves that priority. And I have to say, Marble needs protection. Marble needs to play respectfully here. He has died 3 times for SHG. He's 50% of Team Secret Whales' kills, so they keep finding ways to get onto this AD, leaving him unable to deliver that damage that they need him to do. The rest of SHG, they're playing very, very well right now. They're grouping up. They're collapsing onto Pun. And so far, it feels like this pocket pick is not paying dividends in that top side. But games have been won or lost over bigger and smaller differences here, Pyke. So it's far from over. We're only 19 minutes in to typically a game that goes for 35 minutes as scuffles for this priority. It breaks out, and it's all priority because the Baron, 30 seconds. You want to get that vision down. You want to be first to that Baron. Drake in a minute after.
It's you can see they were trying to attempt some form of a dive up on this top side, but good collapse coming out from TSW. They were able to read, but Solar Flare goes in. Paranoia 2. Fisher does hit 2, but isn't going to be enough damage to maintain a little bit more. But Aria picks up the Braum, and they do lock out the support. A nice secure for the side of SHG.
That 4v5 advantage could come in useful later. It is only 20 seconds though, but bot side, Pyke, it looks like Evie might have overplayed his hand.
Yeah, he does get knocked up twice, and again, good feast comes in. That's where you start seeing those stacks. His die is low. He picks up Marble. He might be able to get out with his life. The healing is just too good. Now they're trying to take out Mister. It's a lot of damage out of Caitlyn. One more hit would have done it. But now they're looking at this tower, and it's TSW coming back with the plays.
And these scuffles have turned the gold lead advantage around. Team Secret Whales now a small margin ahead as we do see Pun just recall. And I love that we got to sit there with Pun in that full recall back to base. Cinema, chef's kiss. But we back to this replay where Evie onto Pun. He walks forward confidently. He walks forward comfortably. He doesn't even have a wave. He just has his maidens and his minions. And he's winning this 1v1 right now that his toe first to respond. Evie has overstayed his welcome and unfortunately hands over that kill to Pun. And I dare say Pun is going to use that to great effect here, Pyke. But we also see the mid lane. Oh, a fight breaking out in live.
Yeah, we're going back into life, hopefully, as they are looking to just lock down even more, but still, it's too much. Marble does pick up Histo, a little bit of an overstep. He's not going to get it done. Weaver's Wall to get out of dodge, misses the Solar Flare just in time, because it was the Dragon they were fighting over. Van 1 is still up. his toe gone, so they do not have the smite power. But one thing you got to remember is Cho'Gath has a smite pre-built into the kit. That feast can do a lot of damage, but are they able to win out the fight for it to work in their favor? Because they are trying to feast it back. Nice little slicer from Pun is going to get a bit out of dodge, but still so much damage is in there. Good. Pun holding on. It's not going to be enough as they're in the back line. Eddie's taking out Arya. Marble's gone too. Eddie's doing all the damage. He's making it work in his favor. He's going to be able to lock down two. That's a triple kill. The ace in the hole for the quadra kill. They take out the whole side of SHG, and they're taking the Dragon too. A massive turn for TSW.
Evie was on that bot side the whole time. The Team Secret Whales, they're going to collapse onto Evie here.
Pentakill! Eddie!
There it is, the pentakill for Eddie. That was so interesting because Evie was on that bot side pushing that wave in the whole fight. SHG just lost. They didn't have the numbers that they needed. So really interesting call there as we see this fight break down again. It's a good start here from SHG. They get a lot of damage down, but it is not onto who they need it to be. And Eddie flashing forward aggressively to close out Arya, to close out Marble. Vista and Van One left to just run for their lives, but you cannot run far enough. As BA feels like he went for a cheeky little kill steal there, if I do say so myself. But then they see Evie still on that bot side, and Eddie just able to handily get that wombo combo, securing himself the first pentakill of the LCP playoffs, Pike. You'll love to see it.
That is all I wanted. And it was awesome as there's the Paranoia going back in. I don't even get a chance to talk about those fights. Okay, where did Van One go? Back to a grey screen as TSW are walking down this team. Now they're turning their attention to the Baron. Nocturne went in without anyone.
Yeah, that's not the play you want to see right before Baron as well. SHG, without the support, without the jungler, this is a free Baron. It is as free as it can be for Team Secret Whales. They are in an excellent position right now. They have their wave pushed up on the top side. Evie doing everything he can on the bot side for SHG, though, to buy themselves time, buy themselves that priority. They knew they couldn't contest it, so Marble and Arya did the same in mid. They've secured some turrets, and hopefully they'll be able to survive, hang on long enough for this Baron buff to go down. But Dyer has found his way onto Evie here, Pike, and there's a mid scuffle too.
Pun's looking for a little bit of a fight. Histo's in the backside. Pun just says, that's cool. I'm going to feast you up all day, every day. Marble now cease and desist on top, and it's just going to be hit with everything and more. What can you do? Histo's inevitable in these fights. Van One's Paranoia down to the bot side to take out Dyer from a slight overstep, but the Baron is still very much in play for the side of TSW. They're looking down mid, they're looking down top, and they're just running away with the gold.
Yeah, they're happy to give over that one because so many members of SHG went down there to pick that kill up. They're able to take that mid tier 2. They're able to take that top tier 2, and they're pressuring the inhibitor turret in mid. Eddie, this nearly 4-item AD, ripping into that turret with that Baron buff as well. But SHG, not to be outdone, they do take themselves that bot side tier 2. It is cross map plays everywhere, Pike. But right now, TSW, they have the advantage. They're in control. They have that Baron power play. They have 2,500 gold and a minute and a half left. We will see what they can do with it. But at the end of that minute and a half, it will nearly be time for the 4th Drake of the game. So Team Secret Whales, they're going to push these waves out. They're going to get that priority. They're going to get that vision control and position themselves so well for this 4th Drake and potentially last here, Pike, because this is match point for Team Secret Whales, and they look poised to take game 4 here.
There is just so much damage coming out of Eddie right now. 7, 1, and 6. Look at these hits on the tower. The crit is strong. The headshots are even better. And I am worried that this Jhin cannot live up to it. They have just a little bit to work with. And look at Pun now. We talked about the late game of this champion, and it's coming to fruition. Knockups are good. Weaver's Wall, Paranoia, Curtain Call. It's not enough. Who do you go on as Evie's actually in the back line? keep Eddie alive, but no, you're going to worry about your own team instead. Eddie is low, extra paranoia comes into play, and he's still going. Look at the damage, look at those moves. The shots are even better. Ace in the hole hits on Marble, takes them back down to half health, and it's just a clean game. Cease and assist, now back out onto Aria, who has to flash over to the side. Look at Dyer making moves again. Towers are going down. Bad one cannot hold on any longer. TSW, they had the control. They had everything they needed. They just needed Summoner's Rift to start up, and the Solar Flare will deny them for just a second, but not long enough. TSW maintain their lead and hold on to hopes of reaching first strand.
That is all she wrote here, Pike. Team Secret Wales, the victors here in Game 4 of tonight's Best of 5 series. They take it 3-1 over SHG. That was the call you made before we got in tonight's game. What a spectacular performance from both teams. They should both be proud of what they brought to the Rift tonight. It is not the last that we will see of SHG. They are now in the lower bracket. They still have a chance to fight their way back into this one, Pike. But Team Secret Wales, they're happy. They are still in that top bracket run. They have fewer obstacles. They have fewer opponents in their way to secure themselves that LCP qualification to first stand in Brazil.
Man, and if you're going to Brazil, you're having a good time, because that is where all these teams are hoping to go. Look, he's sending those shots forward. No stress. The ace in the hole itself was enough. Thumbs up all the way. This team has just blown us all away with how good they have actually performed. Oh, I love it, Logan. This is the team everyone should be getting behind, because they are looking so fierce.
Absolutely. That game one, SHG did bring their best to bear, and it just felt like Team Secret Wales may not have been ready for it, but they turned it around. Game 2, Game 3, and 4, essentially a reverse sweep, and the damage tells no lies here, Pike. Eddie out-damaged everyone.
Just control. This is the Caitlyn effect. If you have range, you can work with it. Yes, we talk about the curtain call having more range, but ace in the hole can go a lot further than that as well. So I think it really is a testament to, if you put Eddie on these really strong carries, enable them with the perfect support, a Braum Caitlyn combo gets those shots off so easily. There's really not much you can do other than re-engage, and you still have a net to force you back as Caitlyn to survive. I just don't know how they were really looking to play this game, but honestly, Cho'Gath, first game of the LCP, and still first win of the LCP, 100% win rate.
Was down at 0-3 and came back last I saw 3-4, so was able to really bring that Cho'Gath intimidation, those stuns, those silences and devours to bear effectively. Obviously a bit of a rougher early game as SHG, they did decide to pull the trigger on Pun, but it just wasn't the right target. It wasn't enough to keep him down and keep him out, and they just turned it around. It was a masterclass from Team Secret Wales here tonight, and you love to see it. Condolences to SHG and all of their fans. They put up such a fantastic opposition in the face of a fierce opponent. And again, they are not done. They are not out. They still have more chances here, and they will be back. But let's take a quick look at these highlight reels, Pike, as Eddie aggressing forward at every possible opportunity, not letting SHG out of his sights on this Caitlyn here tonight.
The best part is there's not many AD carries that can do this, because it's the range that gave this advantage. Heading the ace in the hole, and then decided, I'm going to go for it, and walking all the way back to bot lane. They were up and down this river with all the determination of, I want this Penta. They found their Yorick, and there was just nothing you could do. And the Penta was confirmed on the Caitlyn. Player of the match is Eddie. The damage was undeniable here, Logan.
Yeah, sometimes you have to give the player of the match exactly where it is deserved. And frankly, no one was more deserving on this Rift here tonight than Eddie. Consistently able to find their way in this game. That Corky, it was quiet in the first half of game 2, really found his way back in off the back of Pun frontlining there. And then the Aphelios and Caitlyn delivering so much damage, 30% plus consistently across the board, except in that game 1 where they did lose. And the kill participation is significant as well. He was everywhere, and it only got better and better over time. This is a spectacular performance from the bot laner of Team Secret Wales, a well-deserved player of the match here, Pike.
And this is some of the fights that you can say, you know what, SHG, they were doing really well. And this is where it all started to sort of flip when you're sort of saying, is this team actually going to be able to win this fight? Because they were winning. Like, they're still low. It was just these final ticks of moments where Marble getting caught by a peak rage chains that really sort of solidified, but like, this team is running the game. But SHG was never really out of the fight. It was just some smart plays that TSW made that was able to lock down even more. Because again, Ari was at these fights. Every early fight, they were there doing something, having impact. It was just a difference of the team scaled so well, and then they really could not do much. Eddie was just too powerful.
I agree with you there, Pike. And the Hawks' abilities and with their attitudes, they are absolutely born to fly. They are not out of it yet. They are in the lowers, and I still think that they are a team to be reckoned with, to be feared. They showed us so much tonight that LJL fans are hopeful they can get around SHG and barrack for them. Evie put up such an excellent performance on this Yorick. He had to be answered, and consistently Team Secret Wales did have those answers. So it was that priority that they brought to bear. It was that response to these fights that they were able to turn them around in a timely fashion and unfortunately punish Evie for his hubris, for his aggression. And as you say, Marble, it felt like he kept getting found, unfortunately. I think by the end of that fight, he was the most dead member of SHG. So unfortunately, in this instance, it feels like that Jhin just wasn't the pick. And we get to rewatch a big reason, I want to say, of why Eddie got this player of the match as well. Obviously, the previous games, but Penta is such a feather in the cap, nailing that combo and being rewarded, Pike.
Look, that's it. And by all means, we're not saying SHG didn't have the goods. They, again, took a game away right at the start. They had a game plan in mind. And again, Eddie almost went down here. It was just Secret Wales just played that little bit better. And when a team can just beat you by 1, 2, maybe 5%, that is enough to win a game. And that is the difference maker. So it is a pretty big one. Let's see if they're going to keep going, though. Like, that's the real big question, Logan. Do they keep going? Maybe.
They definitely need to be able to keep up this momentum. They definitely need to be able to bring that same energy to bear. Both Team Secret Wales in their upper bracket in round 3 and SHG in their lower bracket in round 2 as well, because we will get those a little bit later. But here, SHG go down to Team Secret Wales 1-3 in a scintillating best of 5 here in our playoffs bracket, Pike. But if we can take a moment to look a little bit ahead, we also have the match of DCG, Relove DCG against Ground Zero Gaming to look forward to tomorrow night. As Team Secret Wales, they've secured themselves their match 5 position, and SHG, they're down there in that lower bracket, still in with a shot to go to first stand in Brazil, the first major international of the year, Pike. You love to see it. The competition is fierce here in the LCP. No one willing to relinquish.
And this is the time to go. It's first stand. It's the first split of the season. You got to set the precedent that you're a team worth heading to these major tournaments. And that's what I love to see. GZ, DCG, that is going to be a huge series to watch. GZ, a team that a lot of other players and the audience members sort of had their sort of reserves about, and they've just shown up. And I'm here to see it, Logan. And I'm so excited to be back casting these games because I got that fire in my belly just like these teams.
You're here to see it. We're made for this, but we'll be right back after these highlights, just showcasing the quality of games.